Welcome, agents, to strain 43-AGOAS of the 0 Point Report, a broadcast all about the news surrounding the Secret World IP. Today is June 17th, 2021, and I'm your host for this evening, Ocho. With me tonight, we have Waffle.
Hola.
How you doing, man? We have Jimmy the Rabbit.
Hey.
In his see-through shirt. And we have Bloodwed Mallory.
Hey there.
Hi.
Thanks for having me again, guys. I totally appreciate that.
Oh, anytime. And we actually mean that. Whatever. If you're just like, it's a random Thursday, you're like, I feel like coming on and talking on the show. We'd be like, who are we to say no to that?
Talk to them about my plot troubles. They could have helped me.
So yes, our special guest, Bloodwed, is on the show tonight because we are here. It's a special day. It's a special occasion. Bloodwed's latest book, her 6th book in the unofficial Legends of the Secret World series, has been released today on Amazon. Let's just start it off. Do you want to explain?
Who are you?
Yeah, who are you?
Am I? Well, I totally will explain that. So, I am a Secret World player, Secret World Legends player, who about 3 years ago thought, gosh, I wish there was more content in this game. Gosh, this background is so beautiful and
Just
so full of possibility. I think I could write a story.
Okay.
No, and it happened actually kind of like that. Although you may remember last time I told you there was also a part about turning 50 that really pissed me off in the middle of all of it, and it was my goal to write a book, by that time, and so. The two things came together, and I wrote Fun Common Note and said, so I've written this thing and I would really love to publish it with your permission and try to interest more people in, what's going on in the secret world. And luckily for me, they agreed. And that has been 6 books ago now.
Nice.
Yeah, it's, I always sort of finish them and scratch my head and went, oh, that worked. I wasn't sure it was going to. Hallelujah.
Yeah. Right? I think a lot of people were sort of surprised.
Yeah, I don't know that I don't think I had this number. I don't know that I had a number at first in my head, but as the story sort of unfolds, of course, obviously what's going on in Solomon Island, but also Wed's personal journey sort of unfolds. It's taken this amount of time, and in fact, sad news, I guess, for me, and hopefully, not too tragic news for everybody else. But I do expect this storyline to wrap up in the next book, which is 7. Which, if everything, goes as maybe one might hope it would, I hope to have out perhaps by the end of the year.
Ooh,
so I hope to have the last
very
one.
Quick turnaround.
Yeah, I mean.
Just
Once
don't
I
do
have
a G.R.R. Martin with Game of Thrones type. It'll be out sometime before.
I'll give him coaching lessons.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely a challenge. I have a full-time job that I work more than 40 hours a week at. So I'm going to take a little break between books just to see if my husband still loves me or if he's given up looking at me, staring at my screen at Scrivener. Which is actually the software product that I used to write from, not Scrivener, the Scrivener, but at any rate,
the Scrivener-mancer.
Yeah, take a little break and then start to plot out the last one and then get cooking on it, and we'll see. I mean, I may be totally overstating my capabilities to say it'll be done by the end of the year, but that's at least the sort of broad goal at this point.
Okay. I think, that if it pushed into 2022, I don't think anyone would really.
Hopefully nobody come after me with a
pitchforks. Yeah.
Yeah, but this book.
She said on the podcast, 2021.
Here it is, December 26th, and
that's it. No more roadmaps.
Well, so it's funny, but that is exactly why this book is launching today. because I was like, holy crap, I said in the video that it was going to be spring 2021.
Oh, yeah.
Spring is over on the 20th of June. Holy shit, I better
I think we mentioned that on our last show that we're like, well, technically spring ends in
that's exactly what it was.
20th.
It slid under the mat there, or where the I don't know, finish line, whatever I might have slid under, and got it out before technically summer gets here. So that's why we're here.
Hey, it's still better than Conan Chop Chop.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited about this book because I've written lots of Templar books. I've written a complete Dragon book, but the Illuminati have always kind of gotten short shrift in the whole series, which is odd because at some level, the folks that know me, you're as likely to see me on Dot Scale, my Illuminati tune, as you are to see me on Wed. And so I was like, I got to get an Illuminati story in there this time. And I had people over the course of the story say, hey, I want to know more about Gypsy, Wed's friend. And I'm like, okay, how do I get, I hope you didn't hear the dog screaming in the background there.
Yeah, it's okay.
Gypsy, how do I, how does Gypsy come into this? What's the scenario? And how do I get some more Illuminati bodies in this? And I'm like, well, I could put together an Illuminati team and they could have a separate set of goals and they could be competing at some level with Wed and Sev and the things that they're trying to do. And I could tell this story from Wed's perspective and I could tell that story from Gypsy's perspective and weave them all together like George R.R. Martin. There you go. Now, not that I pretend to be George R.R. Martin, but it is actually formatted like that. Each scene is formatted by the character that's telling the story. And there's a mystery third character in there too, from whom the story's perspective is told. And I won't spoil that for those who have an interest in reading it.
It's a song of filth and
right, filth and dreamers.
Dreamers, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
how much dong is there?
How many pages have you described food and eating it?
Quite, maybe not so many in this one.
Is it secretly a food blog that is?
Yeah, and yeah, watch out for who may or may not get killed off. That's off definitely in that regard. It's okay. It's like that to some degree. So yeah.
But is it killed off in a more relative sense? Because I mean, we're talking about Secret Worlders, so killing us off is
right. And you are talking about Blue Mountain and all kinds of shenanigans go on there, and yeah. So I'll leave it there because I definitely don't want to spoil anything, although I will spoil one thing and say that there is a well-known Illuminati player who is in the book, and he just announced it himself in chat. You can probably see it on the screen there. You can see my promos in yellow, and it's right in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he was very excited about that, and I was glad to have him. And like I said, he held up his end of the deal and gave me some backstory and some feedback, and hopefully he'll feel like I held up my end of the story and wrote him true to life, as best as he seems from my perspective, at any rate.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, like we were talking about with Hollow Point earlier, you get an impression of people, and you get an impression based on the words that they use and what how you interact with them. Mm-hmm. And I have never interacted with Dreaming Wolf outside of the game, and so well, that's a lie. I've of course now interacted with him outside of the game, but his words are how I know him. So, any rate.
You can't expect them in real life to add smiley faces to the end of sentences.
No, I probably wouldn't expect him to do that.
You can try.
He did write a pretty funny character sketch, though, for me on Dreaming Wolf. He did give me lots of good material to go from. I know I didn't use everything that he hoped that I'd use, but at some level, he's got to fit the story. So please, any alterations in character type his friends might see are entirely my fault.
It's fair though. You have to take some artistic license, I guess.
Yeah, and of course, then a team has to play as a team, right?
Yes.
And the Illuminati team is very much a team, which is part of what was fun about this too. It's, with Dead in the Water and with, sorry, brain fright there. Dead in the Water and Into the Inferno. Both of those were dungeon books at some level, right? The whole point of leading up to them was about going through the Polaris, going through Hellraised, and sort of bringing the story in to show sort of all the backdrop that gets you into the content of the dungeons. When I wrote them, this book, probably I'm spoiling a little bit, but Darkness Wars is there, although it is less the centerpiece and more an opportunity to really sort of tie in, like, what are the AGOAS doing there? And how do the AGOAS relate to, what was going on in 2012, with the Mayan end of the calendar, and how does that all interrelate with, the pieces and parts that we see that are also going on with the filth and with, who's this guy Tyler Freeborn and what's he about anyway, right? And what was he into? So it was a great opportunity to kind of like show the relationship between all those threads. And I do again warn people at the very beginning that the I don't even know what that means. That it. I think, Jonathan, I've lost the plot. So I'm gonna stop there.
You've also killed the game.
Done. Sorry. Yeah.
That was too much. The game now crashed.
Yeah.
But at any rate, so it was. It's fun to be able to. I mean, like, that's what I like to do. Sort of game archaeology as I'm writing these, right?
Okay.
And one of the very best parts of this book, not best in terms of like the most compelling to read, but the most fun for me in my role as sort of, combination writer archaeologist is, how I love to go look at the like random runes and crap that they have in game and speculate as to whether or not they actually mean something and they really truly say what Funcom, sort of implies that they mean.
Okay.
And
I mean, it is Funcom, so they have you would almost expect that if they put something in there that it does mean something. You would hope so. I don't know
why I'm continuously amazed, but yeah, I mean, like, so if you go into the Blue Mountain and you go up to the big rune stones, the ones from, Strangers in a Strange Land, and you go read them, and I mean before just the, what you would read. Not just the major rune on this, but all the little lines of runes underneath them. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I went through those suckers. I copied down each one. I went and I translated each one. I consulted a younger Futhark rune expert, and damned if they don't say more or less what the quest text says or the mission text says. And why should I be surprised about it? Well, one thing is, like, each one of them has slightly different runes on it. They're not all identical, right?
Yeah,
and so, it's crazy to do that much work once, but to do that much work and then change it between a bunch of rune stones, like, who has time for this? This is awesome. Obviously, I have time for it, but at any rate, yeah, I was really pleased, and so I in the story, for those that are interested, you will get an opportunity to read the output that's sort of the distilled away from, the mission text. Like, I just went to this guy who knows nothing about Secret World Legends or the Secret World and said, this is what I think they mean. And he said, yeah, I'd tweak this word and that word and I'd shift this here and there, but yeah, that's what they mean. So
I'll say, well, we're sitting here in Agartha. Why don't we go on a field trip?
On a tour, for sure. Let's go to Blue Mountain, can we?
A 3-hour tour.
There you go. All right.
Oh, that is possibly the reason. Also, hi, Scooter. Possibly the reason that the crash is just that all those daily login rewards backlog. That's probably what it is.
It's
they
all
didn't
that
actually
database
expect
is so
you
large.
to keep that many daily login rewards
because someone never claims their goddamn daily login rewards.
Who could that be? What moron?
We see Waffles' dirty laundry every week.
Let's see.
It's like he's bringing presents to the stream.
That's right.
And then just not
It's
opening
content. It's content.
them. Kind of like an asshole thing to do. Look, guys, I brought presents. No, you can't open it.
No.
I'm trying to think of what the best one to go to. Let's jump to the Franklin Mansion and
Okay.
run up, and I'll show you, what's effectively, what their effective first stop is. All right. We're
Hey,
going
just don't
for
crash.
the little, there's a little outcropping up here that we're headed for. For those of you who haven't played this particular mission recently.
Oh. Yep.
Oh, you crashed.
Yeah.
Dang it.
That's what, 4? 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, so check that out, right? Like,
Yeah, you have crashed a lot. Did you update your drivers recently?
I've updated everything. Because I've
Okay,
been
so
Oh.
that says
because I've been having a lot of issues with Fallout 76 as well. But not Overwatch.
I don't recognize that one. See, there is a game series that I play that uses runic, but it's not the exact same runic. But there are some of these runes that are sort of similar.
well, and when I, sort of dug into this, like I said, that I have some passing familiarity with Elder Futhark, but not so much with younger. And so, for those people that are smarter about runes than I am, understand that this is an internet education that I've given myself at some level, and then checked by somebody who is an expert. But the younger Futhark were more commonly used by the Vikings, and I think they're described that to some degree because they're a little less formal, and so they did things like create bind runes for individuals, and you know what I mean. So you might create a rune that meant Ocho. And none of the rest of us would know that. Only Ocho and friends of Ocho might know that.
It'd be like like your name,
Exactly. And so if you see that thing that looks like a 4 there on the lower runes, like there's 2 of them in the first line, 2 of them in the second line, and so on and so forth. I looked at that thing. I struggled with it because I couldn't, line it up easily with any of the other sort of more standard shapes. And I ultimately kind of came to the the understanding that maybe that was a bind rune. Maybe that was sort of the author's self-reference at some level. And so, that was sort of what plagued me to some degree. The little caret up is another one that doesn't necessarily tie back neatly to another shape. So, I kind of had to. I actually toyed with putting my correspondence with the expert in the sort of as an epilogue in the book, so that people could read, sort of the discussion that we had about what it might mean, how to tell for sure what kinds of things could be taken or should be taken into account on it. And it was really a fun process to go through it and realize, oh wow, okay, so that first line, there literally could mean something like, here we are, Odin's men going on a great journey. I mean, that's a total terrible paraphrase, but it doesn't. What it means is something not so distant from that, right? In search of wealth or glory, we, with Odin's blessing, traveled a long and dangerous journey. Is the sort of what it came from. And if you look at the mission text next to it, let's see if I can find it.
I'll say the series that I'm referencing is a really old school gaming series called the Ultima series, and they use like it is a more generalized runic that has like one symbol per letter, But part of my own geek cred is I could actually read the runic from the game.
Impressive. Read it like cold, like a book. That's fantastic.
And so like so stepping up to this, it's like that big the giant letter up there, the giant rune up there is basically the letter S. And so in this first line, it's U F. That third symbol I don't know. F A. I don't know what and then the next two aren't similar runes to that, and then the last one is R basically. So
nerd.
Exactly. And so now you know what I went through.
Yes,
trying to figure them out. And that character you don't
recognize. You start looking at these runes enough, you start translating these runes enough, eventually you could actually just start reading them like it's like it's just another language.
Exactly. And that's that's what it was back in the day. And I sort of think of it, and again, maybe I'm just showing my own ignorance about American Sign Language, but I sort of envision it being a little bit like American Sign Language, where there's a gesture that represents sort of
like your name, it
could represent a specific thing, but it could also represent an idea or a notion of a thing, or you know what I mean. It can be broadened in context to someone who speaks it well, that they immediately grasp the meaning you're trying to convey. So
because ASL is not in the standard way that we talk. It's more of a
they don't say subject verb,
prepositional
phrase,
concept.
Yeah, exactly. So at any rate, they take the Illuminati team takes a tour of the runes and experiences and has some sort of insights into the AGOAS and why they are and where they came from and how they got there and
why they're so
means
adorable.
By which they were brought and and also who these guys are, all stinking it up with the flies, and why they're there and what their role might have been historically. So so that's one leg of the story, and of course the other leg of the story is the Tyler Freeborn tale.
Of course.
Yeah, which is it's fun to me, because the Blue Mountain map is large, but it's not that large, and to have three stories sort of weaving in and out of parts of the map, and at one point or another describing most of the sort of major landmarks in this map was pretty fun too, right? And sometimes having the characters, passing each other by.
I think you got a faster sprint than I do. You're just gating.
Sorry. Jeez, I'm like just running along.
I'll get there. And Ember is.
I got sprint 3.
Sprint 3? Oh no.
It's okay. I'm taking shortcuts.
So one of the fun spots, of course, of Tyler Freeborn is down here. And it's funny that things, again, I know Jimmy and I have discussed this before. The stuff that you see after you've seen it 5 or 6 million times, you suddenly something else will, like I don't know if any of you had the experience of coming in here and seeing the parachutes in the trees from this vista.
I actually just found a lore that I never picked up.
That lore actually directly relates to some of this story.
Okay.
So note that and read it later. But when you look out here into the cursed forest and you see the parachutes, I don't know if you had the same sort of like reaction I did I saw them the first time through. Like, oh my God, like that's a ghost. There's something hanging in the trees. It gave me a total fright scare the first time. And so sort of recalling that in the book and having the fun of kind of experiencing it again. If you come in here to the cabin. And again, if anybody's listening to this who intends to play this through and has not yet, please just close your ears. Looking at, like, okay, is that a leopard print throw on the bed here? Like, why would you put a pillowcase on and not a pillow? And sitting here and sort of contemplating the nature of this cabin and like how creepy it would be to be trying to sleep here with the window open and all the crap running around outside the window.
And leopard print.
Right.
Yeah.
So
why not?
So that, that stuff is fun to just, sort of think about it and look around and go, okay, what, if I came in here cold, what would tell me who is here? And so this definitely was a part of the whole story that I got to tell as well. And
with the
if you were
with
Robert
all the
Jordan, that
supplies
could be a
over
whole
here.
book by itself.
yeah, exactly. If you think about it, you look and you're like, okay, well, what's the evidence here? We got some papers, we got some food, we got
meat
some
pie in a can.
right. Don't forget about the fish pie in the can, the very important role.
But you have to really describe it. You have to really describe
Right?
the nicks in the metal, the paper of the label.
Oranges, lots of cans of oranges.
I spent probably an unfortunate amount of time doing that in To Sir with Love, but I was just sort of mesmerized by the specificity of some of the information. Although did they have any Davios here? Because that's kind of all of ever.
Right, the Devi's olives, right, is
Right.
burned in our memory.
Well, that's from the quest, right? Like you have to know it for the
Right, you have to know.
Yep.
It's the Halloween quest, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, Halloween quest.
When you're trying to make this Siobhan's heir. What's that? Yeah.
We broke that in Legends the very first day within a couple of hours. Like there's a few of us from the old guard that
and that was when it took you all over the world too. That wasn't just when it was just all contained.
Yeah. So I was okay, and actually really more than okay with that not being the case anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But we all just assumed you needed to craft the stuff because that's what you craft it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, we don't have the crafting thing anymore. Where is crafting? Oh, Dante's taco plate.
Dante's tacos, yeah.
Like he has the crafting thing. So like a bunch of us just went there and crafted the stuff, and it worked to make the air. But in Legends, that's not what you do.
No.
You go to the summoning point and you use the little the stone bowl there, and you actually, it's like part of the interaction. Like you just muddle it right there. Right? You bring the ingredients there. Guess what happens when you bring the completed thing there?
Uh-oh.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing
Right.
happens when you bring the
No
completed thing
good.
there. Nothing at all. So there was a handful of us in our cabal that just it's not, we didn't even talk to each other. We just all had the same thought, right?
The same thought, yeah.
Where can we craft? Hot plate, Dante's, And then it worked too. That's the other thing, is it worked. It did make the item.
So they didn't even turn that
there,
off. Yeah.
You go there and it didn't actually activate. And we're like, what the hell? And then we had put in a petition, and it was a whole thing. And they eventually, I think, did disable they made it so you couldn't assemble it anymore.
See, what their problem was is that they created a Secret World players to basically think like that when it comes to all the missions. Like, where can I do this? It's somewhere, and to the one exact point in the world that you had to be at for
and
something.
Also, it doesn't hurt that it was in London. Like, we're already in London.
You're already in London, right?
Yeah, they taught us that in other ways in the game, right?
Right. They showed us. They taught us that in many other ways.
Do some random ass shit.
I learned it from you, Mom. I learned it from you.
I see Vomer just popped up, and I'm thrilled. Vomer, what the hell do you make of the Scarlet Conductor? He literally would be in this book if I could figure out what he randomly even means in context of this all. Haddad thinks that he's a funeral conductor.
Isn't there's some sort of music correlation, isn't there?
I could not put my brain around it.
Because isn't the boss that pops up the random?
I know.
This person
I know what
walking
you're
around
talking about.
is a funeral marcher.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's ghosts that are marchers. There's an indication, but I couldn't find any tag back, at least with the searches that I did.
But a funeral march is part of a dirge, right?
Yeah, but also, isn't there a railway running through there?
Yes, there definitely is, through the center over here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a well, it might be a
conductor
minecart.
could be
Really.
like a train conductor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could be a train conductor too, for sure. Yeah, I like I said, I just couldn't. Usually, they're so kind of on the nose with some of that stuff that I was like,
Yeah.
there's just too big of a stretch here. Whether funeral conductor, train conductor, what's the music aspect of it? And so I always kind of, I guess, I kind of wondered
Farmer
to
said he
myself,
may be a double pun conductor.
right?
Could be right.
Or
Yes.
maybe a hook for a future piece of content that we haven't ever seen.
I always
Right?
thought it was some sort of music correlation.
Yeah,
I mean, I know there's
totally
there's
could
a
see
music
why.
one. There's a music one at the mansion, right?
Music
It's sorry. There is a music one at the mansion. That's not actually a question. It was rhetorical.
Yeah, no, I was trying to remember which one you're talking about.
Because it's got the guy that looks like that. You only see him in anima form, and there's the other specters around him, right? And then you have to do the
Oh yeah,
interact with them in
yeah.
reverse.
Right in front of the crypt there. Yep. I know what
Yeah,
you're
you
talking
interact
about.
with them in reverse to do the thing.
Yeah.
Trying to think, 'cause as soon as you walk in here, there was that boss, or there was that the specter that popped up in the cabin.
Yeah.
I remember what he was.
He was well, if it's a male form, it's the funeral waltzer, and if it's a female form, it's the funeral waltzer.
Which those are all like
Waltzer.
dancing things.
But waltzing is again a musical reference.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's more a dancing reference, but it doesn't play music.
Yeah. So, at any rate, if anybody's got any, I mean, every once in a while I find a dead end, and I'm like, I'm not sure. Like I said, is this a hook for future stuff? Is this me not being smart enough? You're probably right. Red Conductor was just a bad translation from the Japanese manga-style monster name. Well, that shows my lack of knowledge about Japanese manga-style monsters. But
I always thought it had something to do with music, but I don't know. That's because my background. I've got a background in music, so when I see conductors and waltzes and marchers and whatnot, my first inclination is some musical reference.
yeah,
they do use music a fair bit.
Yeah,
you have the siren song, you have the song in Egypt, right?
Yep,
you got
sure.
the Spectre music.
And the fabulous but terrible Quest from the Lele, which is one of my favorites, and yet one of the worst.
I will only do that with a guide, and even with a guide, it's kind of horrible.
Yeah, no, it definitely was very intense to solve, but really fantastic in terms of the music and the notions behind it. Same thing with, I mean, I guess truly the Christmas quest too, the Christmas conspiracy, I think it's called, isn't it? The one about Santa Claus and the flute and playing the notes. Yep. So, at any rate, so this area,
because music is spooky.
Music is
Megasaurus is right. Most ghost enemies have like silent walls or the dance like names for attacks. That is true.
Yeah,
they totally do. Yeah, but what's the thing? What's the theme that hangs it together, right? Like I understand this guy because he's a piece of junk that they used in the mine. He makes sense to me, right?
I'm just looking through the legends, the lore for Blue Ridge Mine, and the only thing that really pops up is echoes.
Right, and
I think it'd probably be less in there and maybe more like in the bestiary stuff.
Maybe, yeah.
That's an idea, yeah. Eleanor, talks about hearing the miners sing too, right? So, yeah, I just never, I'm always looking for something that like is an aha moment for me as a writer, but also hopefully an aha moment for somebody who reads that plays the game. Like, oh shit, that's what that means.
Yeah, true.
But I have to actually figure out what it means before I
in this case, I don't think they make it. Yeah, they don't make it too evident.
Yeah, no, it's definitely that's part of the beauty, right? To leave so much room for
interpretation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And of course, you can't do the triumvirate of the Tyler Freeborn and then the Mayans and the filth without also talking about the Orochi. And so the surprise voice, I'll say, is talking about what's going on from the Orochi as from the perspective of someone inside the camp, working inside the camp as a scientist in the camp. And so that was fun, right? To play with sort of time lapse about, as we're introduced in the game. I feel like I hope I'm not spoiling too much. Reel me in, because I just get enthused about, what I was doing. And
I don't necessarily. I don't think you are. I think it's all teases.
Okay, good. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Let's jump over really fast to the Orochi camp.
And that's
Take Moon Cove and let's go jump over to the Orochi camp. Part of the fun is to really and Funcom does it themselves, right? Like with the missions at Eleanor's mansion, where you go back in time and you get to see the house and the circumstances in different states. By the time we get to the the Orochi outpost here, the research base, the disaster's kind of already happened, right? Mm-hmm. But presumably there's a before picture, right, where they thought they were all smug and thought things were going to work out great for them. And, they put up all this nice safety wire and, have all these security personnel for the purpose of having what happened not happen.
Right.
And so, contemplating well, how might have this all gone down? And sort of unpacking that story was a lot of fun too, right? Like to not start out with, hey, there's, dudes and drones you have to avoid, but rather, here I am running around in my research vehicle and I've got a driver because, I'm a scientist and I would have in that circumstance. And, I go in and out of the door whenever I want to, kinds of things. So that was really fun to write that part of the story. And it was also fun to, after the disaster, sort of remember for myself, the horror I had the first time of trying to use the gate keypad to get back in, with the drones headed from 3 different directions, about to, take me down and drag me out to the wood chip.
Rule number 1: never use the keypad.
I know, but we didn't know that 10 years ago, right? Or maybe you did. I didn't, though.
I don't think I ever used the keypad.
No, I've always used this
to
truck.
Be fair, in every game I've ever played, my first thought is, how can I use the geometry to get around shit?
Well, for sure. And
that's just how I approach things.
And I think that I guess I'm a rule follower in some regard, Jimmy. So because it doesn't occur to me until much later. Until I'm like, oh my God, that was such a pain in the ass.
There's a thing next to the thing. Can I get over that? Can I jump that? Like, that's just
right. Is it gonna let me?
Yeah, that's the other thing. That's testing the limits of what they've thought about. Because some games just invisibly wall block all kinds of places, right?
Right. They're like, we've thought of this. You're not supposed to do it this way.
Right. So I do just inherently go kind of feel like, okay, what type of game is this? Am I allowed to jump things? How far can I push that?
Right.
Where will you not let me go? So yeah, I think I found the keypad on the way out. That's how I found the keypad. I didn't even know it was there.
Well, and if I wasn't such a terrible boulderer, just point blank, some of this stuff might
also
be
boulder in real life, so I think it's just a mindset.
It just naturally, you're looking.
Yeah, I like climbing things.
Then you'll appreciate Gypsy when somebody asks her what she's going to do, and she says, "I'm going to look up," right? Because humans never look up. So
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
But I can't get behind the mindset of whoever created this wanted me to do it in this specific way.
Sure.
And so I'm going to do it in that specific way to see their full intentions. It's like following a recipe because you just want to see what the actual chef intended.
You follow the recipe because those are instructions, and if you don't do them, you end up with unedible crap.
Well, I mean, instead of just being like, oh, well, this says to add this much sugar, I'm going to add less, or I'm going to add more, or I'm going to add, to make slight adjustments to it.
I think I once accidentally did a cup and a quarter of brown sugar instead of like a quarter cup of brown sugar, it makes a lot of difference. That's a significant amount more sugar. I got flat crisps, just caramelized crisps. I did have an interesting note though. I was looking at the lore for specters.
Okay.
Oh, good.
But specifically the Western specters, they usually manifest in bedraggled turn-of-the-century finery, a slow parade through the ragtime dirges and drowned pavilion of a frigid underwater otherworld.
Okay. So there is like a dancing music sort of.
Descriptions of the chthonic place match a score of submerged and forgotten towns from previous centuries, from Bittersweet to Minnewaca to Jindabyne. And I looked up some of these names, and the one I found, and I assume the others are similar, is Minnewaca, is actually a place
That sounds like a
in
Wabanaki
Canada.
name.
It's Lake Minnewaca in Alberta was
A forgotten
once
town.
a bustling resort, and then they changed the dam. Like they moved. They didn't just like kill everyone there. Like they moved the place, right?
Mhm.
They raised they dammed it a different place, and the fucking place is completely underwater. Like you can like go scuba dive there and just go check out the town and like hotels and shit. Like
Underwater, all
Yeah,
submerged.
so they like drown the town to make the dam. Well, so then apply that to our specter that we just saw. Then it's probably a reference to the mine and the people dying in the mine. Do you think? I mean, there is a water pool there. There's a tailings pool at the bottom of the stairs that come off the cliff, but it's not deep enough for anything.
No. But it's saying the Western. I mean, it's saying the Western specters in general. So that would go for
more American or more
just anywhere, right? Anywhere
Canadian, yeah, anywhere in the West.
Yeah. But it mentions 3 places, and I was trying to look up Jindabyne, and I got like some weird results, mostly movies.
There's a place out by closer to you. I know it's out that way. There's basically a town that's been completely deserted due to a underground coal fire that's been going for how long? I think that's it. Yeah, it's basically a town that a coal fire started underneath the town, and they basically had to evacuate the entire town, and it's been just a ghost town ever since.
Ironically, names Never Sink and Bittersweet, 2 historic towns of New York, were submerged back in 1953.
Okay. Well, in this case, we're talking about underwater, right? The town I was talking about is like, it's due to fire and fumes, but in this case, right, they're specifically talking about submerged and underwater, and that's why the ghosts seem to act very floaty.
Correct. They're saying the Western ghosts, for whatever reason, have that turn of the century, which you can tell by their clothes, right? Like the normal ones. And they,
the slow parade through the ragtime dirges and drowned pavilions of a frigid underwater otherworld.
So now we know why we have specters. We know why they're dressed the way they are. Where the hell's the water, right? Like where are they drowned? That's what you know what I mean? Like we're still kind of missing that sort of like, why are they there?
Well, I don't think they have to have drowned. It's just saying that Western specters in general must, from their perspective, they are essentially floating through an underwater otherworld. From their perspective.
Yeah. Now, like they didn't necessarily have to drown in order to get that way. They just sort of like, that's just how they're manifested.
Right. Like how what their whole guise is. Yeah. No, that makes sense to me. And certainly there's plenty of dead bodies around, right? Like that's not a shocker. But
bodies everywhere.
I don't know if I've inadvertently or perhaps vertently, if that is a word, advertently, shown sort of my process, right? Like when I'm sitting down to write about an area, this is what I do, right? Like sit down and think, why is that there? What am I supposed to glean from that? What's it mean? What's it mean in context of the story I'm trying to tell? What does it mean in context of the story that Funcom was telling? Is there any delta there? And if there is, that particular critter or can of DVOs might make it into the story.
Mm.
Any rate, now that I finally stopped failing at, you could have had a comical video of me repeatedly failing to boulder myself right over the wire fence for about 15 times.
I
I'm glad
was
to
watching.
finally
I was
join you
just
here.
like,
So
you figured out what the code was, right?
yeah, no, I didn't come in the fence. I did make myself go over, but yeah, you look at that fence. That's a fence definitely meant to keep stuff out.
Yes.
And
yeah, but you could just climb a truck and jump over it. That's just
yeah. I mean,
right. Probably in real life too,
well-placed
right?
trucks is right
They
there.
park like
Can
that.
I just say, when I used to live in California, at some point, like in my 20s, late 20s, I literally would go out at night and purposely just climb buildings and potentially trucks. Like I just end up on top of a grocery store because I could climb the fire escape and just go up there and just see what's up there and look out over the townscape and then come down and hop onto like a big rig and then hop down. And then like that was just like, an evening, random evening on the town.
Yeah, I'm gonna go be Spider-Man for a while. That's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It wasn't just me either. Like it would be like me and a couple of friends would just like go. Now we did one time, like probably get a little carried away, and we were trying to climb the bank near the drive-through, and then we decided after a car drove by that we probably shouldn't do that because it looks really bad.
Right?
People trying to
What are these
scale
guys
the
doing
wall
at the bank? Yeah.
We're like, we'll go find another grocery store or something where no one's gonna care.
They don't think we're gonna rob the. We're
But
not
it looks
trying
weird. It looks weird when you're like in the drive-through of a bank and scaling the side of the wall.
Look at Ember up there at the top. So here's another. We're standing on another fictional point of continuity stressor. Because we're told, hey, nobody can get in on Solomon Island. That's why the people are all still stuck there, right? Nobody gets to leave except us lucky bees who can survive Agartha, or people that just die and, their spirits go off whatever way they go off. But
we have helicopters. Yeah.
And so
they fly around the island.
For sure.
I don't know that we have evidence to get out of the island.
Right. And so again, from a fiction standpoint, what that looks like to me is at some point they flew in, but now their capacity to fly out is, compromised.
Although
on the Polaris.
New Dawn added a wrinkle to that.
Help me. What was it?
Shay Hansen, like you get on the plane
with Shay and you fly off
the plane.
You're right.
He says, "I know how to give the stinky pinky to the quarantine," and you get on the plane and you fly.
Good point.
So,
well, the pathway
in some fashion, someone's able to get out of there with a plane and not through Agartha.
Yep. Good point. Totally forgot about.
And like Vollmer said, like the Orochi has a vested interest. And probably the military as well makes sure no one gets off the place because they know everyone's infected.
Right.
Yes.
So, and then there's the whole what is it, Exodus thing?
Right. Absolutely. That's
which has that on the giant capital letters. That's probably some kind of anagram, like a anagram. Yeah, abbreviation of something.
Yeah.
And then there's also the thing you use on the giant Akab. I think it's called Exodus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Yeah, but in the
Checkmate. Maybe it's Checkmate. I don't remember.
We can go check that out right now.
Two things.
Yeah,
but yeah, like, you know who else mentions Exodus is oh god,
what's his bucket in burning
the fortune teller. The fortune teller.
Oh, yeah.
Super early on in the game, when you have no concept of what's going on or any kind of anything, she mentions Exodus. And then I don't think you really even hear that again until maybe somewhere in the Tyler Freeborn chain at the end. I think the voice in the Red Sargasm mentions Exodus.
Yep.
and you're like, wait, that sounds familiar. What the hell?
Where did I hear that
about?
before?
And it's all in caps. Like it's not Exodus, or I mean, it could be a double meaning. It might be Exodus, as in like no one's fucking leaving the island.
Right.
But it also has, it's in caps because it's referencing something else. Yeah, there you go, Walmer. Exodus won't save them. No.
Right. Yeah,
but again, it's in caps, which makes it seem, and I swear there's something else that has that somewhere else in caps, like it's a project.
It's absolutely in caps in the military camp laptop you can get to. They actually reference it there. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
this is part of the mission where we see, like in this camp, there's the investigation mission here where we see that that everyone is infected.
Yeah. Period. Yeah.
Period. Yeah. Everyone is.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And then I'm pretty sure when you get to Egypt 1, and you're talking to Moses lookalike, that he's talking about Exodus 2. Right. So I mean, I definitely think they're doing a double entendre there, right? That they're talking about the military protocol. They're talking about the idea of leaving. They're talking about
and a mission a mission that is named after the leaving. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. It's a whole lot of fuck you in the brain.
And then they don't explain everything fully, which makes it even better.
Right. Which made me sit down and write,
I was trying to think
400,000 words about it.
Like
you
go ahead.
Easily end up like Charlie in It's Always Sunny with the beautiful mine ship behind you.
That's right.
You're like Pepe Sylvia. Like,
but no, like I was playing this past week. I was playing a very quick horror game, and it was called Untold Stories, and it was basically like a very short, like 4-part puzzle horror sort of trope, but the very last part of it explained the entire rest of the story, whereas the other 3 parts were only segments of it. And so at the end, I was like, well, that was kind of like, they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to explain the entire story. What are they? I thought it would kind of be better if they still left a lot of stuff up in the air, kind of the way Secret World does.
Right, like they've made a study of it.
Had so much stuff. I don't even know that they could wrap it up if they wanted to.
Right, there's so many.
God, don't say that. I've tried. This is the fear for me for book 7. Like, where do I wrap this up with? I can't. I can leave some things open ended, but it'll be totally dissatisfying to all involved if everything's open ended.
Maybe you should contact Tilty. Yeah. Maybe Tilty has an inside knowledge.
Give me the skinny, please.
That he can write. He can be like, you don't work for Funcom anymore. You can tell me, right?
Exactly.
Did you ever see? Speaking of the military laptop, if you go look, there's actually an inside joke there about him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fun. If you're looking for it when you find it.
See, I forget what the joke is, but no, I remember seeing that one. Yeah.
Well, another good place for that is Orochi Tower. There's tons of stuff in Orochi Tower.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Where do you even start, right?
Right. Orochi Tower is not even.
Are so full of little nuggets and little like innuendos and puns, and isn't there one? There's like one writing on the whiteboard that says like Tilty's Big Adventure.
Tilty's Big Adventure. It was like children's book titles or something.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff. I had to be told it was there. That's how subtle it was and how numbskulled I am. But there's a Jimmy reference in the Christmas mission.
Is there?
Do tell.
Yeah, and you know the new one that's in Legends, the investigation one, right?
Yeah,
Fog and Mirrors.
Yeah.
There's reference to a Jimmy and something about his giving this kid like a bunny rabbit, like a bunny rabbit.
Okay.
That's awesome. And that's like that's a nod. I was told by Mervell that's a nod. I didn't catch it. Like I'm pretty sure I read that and didn't catch it. I was like, yeah, all right, whatever.
There it is.
I had to like smash in the face with it.
You're like, oh, like you could have made a character for me in Rosenbrawl.
No, okay, so that is hilarious. There's two characters. There's one that's clearly like a spoof of me, and one that's a spoof of Ox, Dumb Ox.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not in Rosenbrawl.
Yeah.
But they're in the files. Nergal put them in there purposely to troll data miners. So there's if you data mine, you'll see a list of NPCs for Rosenbrawl, and one of them is Jonathan the Bun.
Okay.
And the other one is like Chaos Bison something.
Okay.
Which is like, so it's Domox is helped in the beta testing as well, the closed beta testing, and he always plays Chaos. It's a reference to him, and the other one's clearly Jonathan the Bun is a reference to me. And people kept trying to figure out a way to get my NPC to show up. And then in one of the dev streams, Nerval was like, finally like gave in, was like, yeah. So the secret is they're not actually there. That's the only way you would know those names if you were data mining. So he literally was just trolling the data miners.
Just trying to figure out who it was. Yeah.
Right, trying to figure out, get them to self-identify.
And yeah, Yatashi and I are both on this Signet of Shoulder Tackle that's now in the game. Like Nerval added flavor text to the Signet of Shoulder Tackle. In fact, in the last patch, a lot of items have like gray flavor text. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Like the newer items.
No.
Like the Waist Guard tank talisman has a little gray text says, a small note attached with twine reads, guarantee you to protect from tendinitis. Direct inquiries to Edgar. It's clearly like Edgar wrote a note on the talisman.
Okay.
From the scrapyard, you know?
Yeah.
So I forget because I don't have one on me because I fucking hate that thing.
I just bought one off the auction house so I could read it.
The shoulder
tackle one. Yeah, it says Jonathan. I don't see the point of Tashi's shoulder tackle. Interrupted Jonathan's argument.
Yes, that's because Yatashi and I were arguing on the closed beta Discord about shoulder tackle and how I think it's fucking useless, and she constantly runs it all the time. So like our argument made it onto an item in the game.
But that's lovely, right? Like it's totally lovely. At some level, it's the best part about this game, right? That there's this sort of symbiotic relationship to a degree between the audience and the developers that, let's just give them some money. I don't know how we do it, but let's give them some money and tell them to keep going.
It's pretty rare. Like I don't think you normally see that.
No,
I think level of interaction.
Right now I'm looking through like every item in my inventory, and I don't think I've come across even one that has any extra.
The gray text is new. It's just from the last rebalance update.
Okay.
Now I got to go buy a bunch of. Damn it, because there might be some like it's stuff from Edgar. Like when I'll say this much. Reconsidering Edgar's character, like the first time I went to the scrapyard, I was like, okay, that's funny. Yeah, I think I know, this kind of guy and what he means in the story. But the more you kind of dig into who he is, where he's from, and all of his history, he is not cut and dried. And maybe that's obvious to everybody except me, but
it's probably a little more obvious if you got the quantum bracers from him in the original game.
That's been so long ago that probably I had to go log into the old game just to read them and see. So
they had a mission. They had the Ox weapon, the quantum bracers. Edgar made quantum bracers.
Right.
And to listen to him talk about quantum technology, is fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
In his normal mode. But yeah, like I think if you play the original and played that mission, which had like dialogue with him and stuff, and you realize that he made fucking quantum powered anything,
right?
You're like, okay,
something else going on here.
Yeah, he's this weird fucking
savant.
Yeah, like split of like like all these tropes of a certain type of person, but
but that.
fucking like Tesla or Einstein or something.
Right.
Like,
But making connections that you wouldn't imagine that he would make. Yeah.
yeah.
And
It's
in
like-
fact, when you go back, when you do Tyler Freeborn, I'm sure you know this, Jimmy, but you go do Tyler Freeborn, if you stop, and really listen to his dialogue when he comes out, he talks about the quantum stuff. He talks about, what I mean? There's a lot more there
Well,
that
he actually uses the quantum bracers on
right
you.
on you, right?
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's wearing
his
them.
fight. Yep.
Even in Legends, at least he has them.
Yep. So yeah.
Yeah, I need to go. Like, I'm sure I can find a YouTube video or something, but see him talk about the way he references quantum particles, like his words for it.
Orbitidities, I think is what it is.
Yeah, it's
There's a
great.
tit in there somewhere. Let's just say that much. So, yeah. So
God.
yeah,
We love Secret World characters. They're so great.
and I know that I've hinted to this before, but the one thing, I don't know how it will be received, but as I wrap up, sort of the story in 7, I intend to chase after some loose ends that have never been answered, right? I'm going to chase after some characters whose stories remain mysteries to us yet. I won't tease ahead that far, although if you think about who you don't know what happened to in Solomon Island, it's probably not that much of a jump. And what we don't know about them, and where the hell did that damn sword end up, right? Ultimately.
Yeah.
And so
I'm gonna write that, and then Funcoms, because they already authorized it, they're
right. They can use it or not.
If they're gonna make any update, it's gonna have to be based off of what I wrote. Yeah.
I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I will tell you that my agreement with them says that if I write something that they want to use in game, that they have the right to.
Of course, yeah.
So, I couldn't be more excited actually if something came close enough to the plan or was useful or interesting or exciting enough to them that they felt like they wanted to develop into it. I would be all on board with that. So wish me luck, and certainly I'm all about crowdsourcing. If anybody's got any fine ideas about what happened to that stuff, I'm all about hearing them. I frequently try to consult the old, even the old forums, and read through all the old stuff and people's thinking about it at the time, and sort of weigh that against what I'm thinking about writing, and how does it fit, and what are other people's observations, and do I think that they're full of it, or do I think that they're onto something, and I had to dig deaper. So.
That's why I mentioned
out there,
right.
And I'm sure this is probably, putting it the nail on the head here, but I was just talking about this with someone like a day or two ago. I know there's been some theories, but I haven't ever really heard any good ones of who the hell Cassie's supposed to be.
Right.
Because, while initially she seems very like small side character-ish, obviously she's not.
Right. There's that one mission that you walk with her, and she kind of makes herself out like she knows a lot more than you would expect.
Really, to me, it's a cinematic with Beaumont where she basically, you have no idea who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I feel like, given what the other the other big player characters in the game are, like given who Beaumont is clearly supposed to be,
mm-hmm.
or at least alluding to be, and Samael as well, right? And you have Lilith.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Cassie
has to be a big player of some kind.
Has to be a name that we actually probably would know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just not sure exactly who.
The Black Kiss is like, it seems like a total breadcrumb. And there's also, Morgan Le Fay. She shows, believe me, those are among the things I'm contemplating. She's got her attack, the Black Kiss, where she stuns you, and then there's another place where it says something about the Wicked Witch of the South. Right. and
I just
there is a
assumed that
Wicked
was
Witch
her
of
being
the South.
Southern, but
Yeah,
yeah,
mom wrote one. Her name is Singra, I think, and somebody made the comment that she's well known to Scandinavians, far better known to Scandinavians than, for instance, to this sort of average American kid who might have read the stuff.
See, that's the other thing. The game is made by a fucking company in Norway.
By Norwegians, yeah.
By Norwegians.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is a thing I was thinking of too, was like maybe it is a big player that I'm just not as familiar with.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that definitely is something that
Threads that I'll be pulling on in the next few months for
Someone who
sure.
possibly could also be from like Norse mythology or
Yeah, or some random Icelandic goddess from somewhere. And obviously a last name like King also kind of gives you a sense that she's got
Somehow.
I see that Armored Scooter's talking about Cassandra, from Cassandra the prophetess, and she definitely is a well-known, she's not a goddess per se, but well-known female figure, probably partially from mythology, partially from history. But she's interesting because the Cassandra story doesn't actually match up as nicely with what Cassie's actually doing, at least that we see on the screen, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
Cassie's a little bit more. She's not somebody. She's not somebody something happens to. She's somebody's. You know where I'm going with this. She happens to be.
Yeah, she happens to other people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A force of nature.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and Megaspherix says my thoughts were the sword was identified as Excalibur. That guy in Camelot and Elwick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John talks about Excalibur. It's also identified in other places. It's a little harder to find, and you have to be looking for it. But if you go back, because when I first heard that the sword was supposed to be Excalibur, I was like, "That's BS." And then went back and sure enough,
Isn't it in
fact,
like the lore to Darkness War?
it is, I believe.
Yeah.
Named
Mhm.
named in the Lord of Light, and good memory on that, Ocho. For anybody who actually has had a chance to look at the other books in the series, book 5 is called Hard Cleft, and the reason it's called Hard Cleft is that was another name for Excalibur. So as much as I've had all kinds of little naughty jokes told by various people about other possible names for that book, Hard Cleft is another name for Excalibur.
Varmer says it's even called Excalibur in tooltips in the buff the Varangian gives you.
Yeah,
Varangian.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
The Varangian, which
Close
means
enough.
the Viking.
Close enough. Yes. Yeah.
And I love that he's in Polaris.
He's in Polaris. Yeah.
Yeah,
Boss
exactly.
Baby.
Like that was the first moment that kind of started to crack open for me, where I was like, "Wait, isn't that the dude? Wait, what?"
Isn't
and then
that
there's
the same?
legends. There's legends that explain like exactly what happened. Like Loki, aka like Beaumont, decided not to go with them intentionally
Mhm.
back because they don't make it back.
Yep.
Because they sink.
Mhm.
They sink with the sword on the way back.
He says, all this time I've been chasing a hammer.
Yeah, that's
Right?
another.
I was gonna say it's a allegedly it's Loki, but it's like no, there's enough breadcrumbs where it's pretty damn obvious.
Straight up Loki.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah,
you
some
have
of it,
the whole the rune stones and everything, right? It's hugging and mugging. It's Odin.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
that's the one I think of all the stuff that they're like vague about. I think that's the one area that's probably like the least vague. They don't shy away
clearest,
from that
yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Like the Norse stuff is like this is fucking Norse stuff.
Yeah.
Which could also just be because again, Norwegian company.
Yeah, right.
They're
Like,
great
we
home
know
territory.
this.
They're comfortable with the
Yeah, they're like-
mythology there.
They're like, we're not gonna mess this up. We know this.
Yeah,
We're just
like the
gonna
whole
just run with it.
The whole Christmas hell thing is perfect and beautiful. Actually, the whole hell going. I mean, down to the way they portray the goddess in the in as hell. It's just fantastic. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's one of the really awesome. Dom Hiddleston. There we go.
I forget what what other game I was playing, and Hell came up. And people were like, "Oh, but what is this supposed to be? The story of Hell?" And it's like, "Oh, you don't know the story of Hell?" Be like, we've been playing Secret World for so long that it's like, oh, that's nothing. The story of Hell with Loki basically half drowning in the water and blah blah blah.
Leaving half of her face to rot off, no problem.
We're like, we got that. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, you guys don't know about Krampus? Come on.
Right, I know. Every time somebody puts it up as a Christmas meme on Facebook or something, I'm like, oh, you dilettantes, whatever.
Every year you don't.
Oh, you don't know?
Yeah, every year you don't just drown yourself in lore based on Krampus and Hell. What?
Yeah.
Now all we really need added to the game is a Festivus poll for the rest of us.
You wait, that'll be a giveaway in the next December.
Awesome.
It'd be a new mount.
That'd be amazing.
It'll be Jonathan's poll.
I feel like you get the dragon, not the dragon, but the Sashimonos. Tokyo wearing your back, but
that's
just
what you want when it says Festivus.
That'd be the easiest thing in the world to model, right? Like you just don't have a flag.
You just don't have a flag, right? You just got the pole
on your back.
There's a metal pole, yeah.
Yeah.
Just carry it around with you.
That'd be fucking awesome. I'm gonna send that to Andy.
Do
Make
this now. For Christmas in July, even. Is there Festivus in July?
It might be a little late for that.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to do it for. Well, they might be able to.
I mean, it is just a poll,
right? At the time they saved on locusts in Conan, right?
Yeah,
but it would somehow be a poll that breaks the game, and
God.
Oh yeah.
And then when you put it on, you automatically hearth to someplace.
Clearly, you'd be able to pole vault like that.
You put it on and just shoot to the top of the map. Yeah.
Yeah, you get stuck to the top of the world.
Krampus Rocket 2.0.
And they'd be like, "Oh yeah, oh no, not again."
I don't think they realized how broken that was until I started making videos and screenshots. And I had like my Krampus. I still have it on Imager. My Krampus Rocket aerial tour.
Mm-hmm.
It has skybox photos from all the different maps.
In honor, I'll use one right now in honor of that comment.
Yeah, they just don't work the same anymore. He fixed them.
Damn it.
Yeah, it used to be, what is it? If you jumped and used it at the same time.
If you jump, so you jump off something and in midair hit the Krampus rocket, and it had essentially what's happening is I remember talking to developers about this. So you jump off a ledge and in midair you hit the rocket, and what it's trying to do is put you essentially on your back on the ledge. Like it wants to knock you back onto a surface, but the surface you were on isn't there anymore. And so it kind of flips out, just goes and shoots you and literally pins you to the skybox. And the reason it does that is because it hasn't stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're up there, your view is constantly shaking, and that shaking is because it's
continually looking,
trying to shove you like up higher, and it can't. So, and then the only way to get down is either to die or use another one. If you use another one, it for whatever reason like resets probably some number value, and then it just drops, and you just go and fall increasingly faster to the ground. It enabled me to get some really good shots, though. Like I got a really good shot for my New York raid tutorial of above the raid to show like the layout, like where you should move. Mm-hmm. And for Lava Game Champion, I have like a good overhead shot to like show the route.
Yeah,
like,
you showed
really
that last episode.
Like that. Yeah, it's useful for stuff like that. I have helped like 2 people, I think, since then. By the way, with Lava Game, I was up to like 4 a.m. helping someone with Lava Game.
Oh, yeah.
Now do this jump. Now
do
this.
Legitimately, I was like, you can do it. You can do it. I was running next to them in game, like
get back up there. Let's do it again.
Jumps, being like, right. Okay, you want to jump from this. You want to jump from this point to this point, right? And then we'll go here. They fail a jump, and I'd be like, no, come back. Don't start over. Come back. We're gonna practice this jump. Come back here. We're gonna start here and jump here and see if you can do this repeatedly. Like eventually they got it. And it took us like literally I think over a solid hour of trying.
You totally just made me think of a great gig for you for a stream where you do like assist, like the Microsoft Assist thing, and you take over people's computers and do the things. You can do the lava game for me, okay? Can I hook you up to do that? Yeah, I'll just let you log into my, remotely to my computer, and you could do the lava game champion for me.
I have remoted into Cabal members to PCs to set up their mods because they somehow got confused and screwed up all their mods, and I've logged into a Cabal member's Secret World account to go back into the original TSW to do an achievement for them so they could get the cosmetic to transfer over to Legends. So yeah, both things have been done.
Kind of like WoW, where you pay to go to a mythic dungeon. You can pay to do achieves for people that can't do them. You can play guitar while you're doing it, so it's perfect.
Be like one of those guys in front of the stadiums, like, you need help, call me.
Just joking, in case anybody from Funcom's, I would never encourage anyone to do anything to break the terms of service. Just saying.
If they do it for in-game currency, it's not bad.
Scooter is right. Like I honestly think I probably am the only person to ever accidentally complete Lava Game.
Right. Didn't even mean to.
But
yeah, I was trying not to. I was testing the route for the voice run, and just figuring out where to jump from, and I wasn't thinking about it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump from here, and I'll go to here, and I'll go to here, okay, and I'll go here, and all right, and this jump, and then I jumped to the last jump, and I was like, son of a bitch. God damn it.
That's there's a few of them that still elude me after all this time. I haven't made any significant work on trying to progress on my achieves for a while, but I did the lava game in TSW, and I started to do it on WED in this game, and I was like, I just can't even bring myself to do it again.
The biggest thing is you have to set your sprint down to like 2. A lot of people make the mistake of just running with whatever sprint they have, and it's like 3 or 4 or 5 or God forbid 6. Like, no,
just overshooting everything
problem right there.
Yeah, like you need to if you're not like, I can probably do it at 6, right? Like, and even I will occasionally fail, but I could do it on 6 with enough tries. But it's going to cause you too many problems because your desyncs are going to happen so much more often because the server's predicting you moving forwards at that rate. So it's going to all the time when you don't touch the ground, it's going to think you just touch the ground and you break the thing, right? Because if you're moving at sprint 2, it's only predicting you moving at that speed until it catches up in packets, right?
Right. But
if you're moving at sprint 6, it's predicting you that much faster.
Right.
So it's going to be like, you already touched the ground, broken.
Yeah.
Not only that, at that speed, you will, if you're not careful, just overshoot or slide off things on your own. But on top of that, the desync is going to be much harsher. You're going to fail all the time going like, how the hell did I fail? I didn't touch the ground. And it's like, well, it was predicting you like 4 times faster going forwards than on the other sprint.
Yeah, it's like, well, our system has you at a different point than your client does, and so you fail.
And even though it rubber bands you back, it doesn't matter as far as the server is concerned. As soon as you touch that point on the server side, you broke the achievement. It's not going to unbreak the achievement just because it puts you back on the car. It's going to be like, you touched the ground. So that's like the biggest thing.
I'm going to try, in your honor, I'm going to try it on Sprint 2 one more time, Jim. And
we can try it now?
Well, right now.
The only other thing I would say is like there's a couple key places. There's the jump from, it's like the second or to last jump or third to last jump from the cars to the rubber tires that are on the ground,
Right.
like right into the bus.
Yeah.
That jump is important to practice because it's very specific, and you need to do it right for the sprint level you're at. So if you've only ever tried it on sprint 6, like just go there and practice that jump on sprint 2 because it's going to feel different. And then the other place that's a little finicky is the blue car up to like the log or the barrels.
Yeah,
I
the
used to
barrels
always
where
go to the barrels. You can do the barrels if you stand on the trunk of the blue car. The trunk of the blue car will, if you stand on the back edge of that, will always get you to the barrel without falling off. But what I've found more recently, the millionth time I ran the damn thing, is that actually, if you kind of jump to the left, jump from the very, very front of the car, you can skip the barrels altogether. You can just jump straight up. The beauty of that is if you make that, you don't have that like fear of like falling off the barrel.
Right.
That's the one that sucks is when you make it to the barrel, then you go to jump up and you fall.
Oh,
like that sucks. Whereas if you can just make the jump from the car right up onto the log, like you're never overshooting that. You'll be like, now you're there, like you're done. You just now you just go to the walk the log part, which is pretty easy.
It's seared in my mind to the point where I can envision what you're talking about, even though I haven't done the damn thing in like 4 years. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I know that barrel jump because because when you fail there, you're like, oh,
I've done it.
We call that trauma. That you've experienced trauma because of it. Yeah.
I've done it like in every character in the original game, every character on like 3 accounts in the new game. I've done it on horses. I've done it on a hoverboard, on Mountain Dew cans. I've done it upside down.
Yeah.
I've done it on a level 4 character on sprint 1 who literally just entered Kingsmouth and ran there and spent the last half running from the champion that's sitting there. I couldn't fight him. I was just running. Yeah, it's true. I did it with Jimmy mode active. Which Jimmy mode just randomly inverts your controls or makes you walk backwards.
Things
yeah. Jimmy mode is a.
So we have you to blame for the drunken scene in Tokyo. No,
the drunken scene is easy. Jimmy mode is worse. Jimmy mode is something Nervell, according to him, made up at lunch while holding a sandwich in the other hand. It's a buff. It was on the dev server. He actually put it on one of my character, my marathon character I did for charity last year, where I did a whole run through of the game in 28 hours straight. Like 5 hours in or something, Nervell showed up on my stream, and he just put Jimmy mode on my live character. And it still has it to this day, by the way.
Yeah, it doesn't go away.
I can go log into that character. The Jimmy mode buff is still there. So what Jimmy mode buff does is just randomly applies an effect to you. And it could be anything from, like the drunken Nightmare Dream Palace stuff, like flip left and right, or flip forward and backwards, or flip all of them, right? Or I don't know why it does this kind of thing a lot, but it'll make it so nothing but your forward key works, but your forward key does not make you go forward. So left, right, and back don't do anything, but forward goes left, or forward goes right, or worst of all, forward goes backwards. And then the only thing I can do is turn around and press forward to walk backwards and go the direction I want to go.
Right, and it stays around for an uncomfortable amount of seconds too.
Yeah,
it's like
it's the timer is random. It can be anywhere from like 5 or 10 seconds, like 30 seconds. Getting stuck being only able to walk backwards for 30 seconds is really annoying.
So watching Jimmy do was it Last Train to Cairo?
Yes. And then you can only go left. Well, that's okay. I can just turn my camera to the side and then I can kind of go forwards, it's like I'm strafing sort of. But the other thing it'll do is randomly it would just summon a group of leets. And some were passive and some bit your ankles and you couldn't tell which was which. You just have to randomly spam an AoE and kill the actually attacking ones. And then the other ones will just follow you around. I just had like a bunch of leads following me, and then also it sometimes will just randomly summon a boss. I was in Last Train to Cairo, and it fucking summoned the werewolf from Dr. Gartha, the guy from Carpathian Fangs. What's his face? I can't remember his name now.
That's funny.
Why am I blinking? What is his name?
That's
The werewolf.
Oh, come on now.
Oh God.
No, I lost it too.
He's
Sorry.
blind. He's blind.
Yeah.
Anyways,
No.
he's a boss in-
Trajan?
Yes, train. He's a boss in Dr. Gartha. So I'm in the train when it gets set on fire, right? That part before the door unlocks behind you,
Yeah.
like the fire's coming. Jimmy Mo just spawns Train there. He then does Pained Howl, which is a circle AoE bigger than the goddamn train. I can't go anywhere. I have nowhere to go. The door's locked and the train's on fire. And I'm standing in the middle of Pained Howl next to Train.
Is it,
Like, I was
of
like,
that
what the fuck is
entire
this?
24 hours, I think watching you play through Last Train to Cairo was just exquisitely
I don't know if you were
good
there.
content. It was just good content. I was there, yeah.
I don't know if you were there for Cost of Magic, but on Cost of Magic, I was going through Cost of Magic, and all of a sudden the Tokyo golem made out of TV parts that shoots the laser shit just showed up on the platforms in Cost of Magic. Like in the first part of Cost of Magic, when you're in the vampire tent area, like I'm going sneaking up the metal ladders and platforms and shit, and just a fucking Tokyo golem drops on top of me and starts trying to laser me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
That's funny.
So yeah, that's Jimmy mode. I did Lava Game with Jimmy mode on. In fact, I did it twice because I got to the end and purposely failed it because like I did it so fast, none of the buffs activated during the run, and I thought that was pretty lame. Like I literally did Lava Game so quickly.
You're like,
things happened.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, because it is random,
Mhm.
and then none of them happened. I was like, well, okay, I'm just gonna break the achievement and run back and jump on again, and then hopefully something will happen during the next run. So I think I actually did it twice like that. Yeah, and I did it upside down.
So you gotta help me on that one. How the heck did you do it how do you get upside down? Help me with that.
On your monitor, I just went to display settings and
I see. They're turning the game upside down. I got it.
Turn the entire game upside down. Yeah.
Yeah. So I turned the entire game upside down and then just proceeded to do Lava Game like that.
So clearly you don't have a lot of problem with nausea. So,
No. I've done New York Raid 10 upside down.
Didn't he mention earlier that he just used to climb buildings when he was younger?
Yeah.
Well, acrophobia is like one thing, but like I get to a point where like, if my character go ahead.
I was drunk and playing Overwatch for 6 hours upside down. I don't have apparently a problem with reallocating like visual reality for whatever reason. I just get used to it. Although it did screw me up because that was the first time I'd ever played that particular map on Overwatch that come out that weekend. And when I went back the next weekend, because I only play Overwatch on the weekends when I'm drinking, I went back the next weekend and everything was right, and I was playing right side up, and I had no idea where anything was because I learned the map upside down, and I was like, I don't know what that place.
Yeah, I don't know where anything is now. Yeah.
So that was a problem. I'm still relearning that map. Like the hours I played it upside down were burned into my brain, and like it's really hard to rewire that. And then I also did Lava Game on guitar. That happened. And then
cursing.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
That's a recent one, yeah.
Voice activated cursing. I literally just swore at the computer until I got Lava Game achievement.
That's the one before you did that where you accidentally completed it.
Yes. Yeah, I was setting up for that one. I accidentally completed it. And then I found a character I had that didn't have Lava Game yet somehow, but it didn't have a bunny head. So I spent 3 hours farming for a stupid bunny head for it, so it'd have a bunny head for the video. And then I did the achievement, and then went to edit the video, and the audio was gone. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And it turned out I had just like kicked my USB audio thing halfway out, so like the audio was messed up, but it wasn't the video that was messed up. It was just my playback that was messed up. I finished that video like 5 a.m. I had a rough night.
Oh wow.
So otherwise, believe it or not, we're talking to Bloodwed Mallory.
What?
If you're coming in now, we're talking to Bloodwed Mallory because she just released her latest book, currently on Amazon. You can go and pick up. I'm gonna just check Amazon real quick to see if
is there lava
Yeah,
game
see
in the book?
if the paperbacks come live.
the
Since we've
paperback
been
is
chatting.
live or not.
Do they,
I'll look too.
do any of the characters do lava
Nope, not
gaming in
yet.
the book?
Not yet.
Are there?
That's right. Is there a lava game somewhere?
Because if not, they should. You should definitely have a parkour section in one of your books.
I'm telling you, I will make a parkour section for book 7, and you have to help me with it. Sound good? Will
Yes.
involve Stonehenge. Okay.
Say, well,
There you
it
go.
doesn't look like you can get it on Amazon just yet in paperback, but you said that probably will happen when Amazon gets around to it.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yep, it's been submitted for publication in paperback, which some amount of time passes somewhere between now and 36 hours from now, Vomer, and you will be able to order it. But I will do what I did earlier, so people can see it. You'll get a flash of me in real life. I apologize for that. It's late where I am. Okay, there you go. There's proof that it exists, and proof that
It
it
does
is
exist, and
big.
it's thick too.
It's
Yeah.
thick, yeah. It's
Wow.
it's about a third bigger than sort of the rest of the books, and the print is small, even with that. So, yeah, this is a big book, and it turned out really well. Hollow's cover, as always, looks fabulous. You can see that this is the
Fantastic.
galley version with the do not sell business to it. But hey, speaking of which, for you guys, if you want, I would, if anybody wants a signed galley version and they live in the U.S.
Yeah, if
or
you live in the
they're
US.
willing to work with me on payment plans for the postage to Germany. God,
How
I
much
would
was
be
it? Like
happy.
30,
I'm glad
40
you threw,
bucks?
glad you threw that in there based on the
Great.
last time we tried doing this.
Well, Canada's not so far. I can probably manage Canada, but
We can toss it over the wall.
right. But I would be happy to give you guys a copy to dispense with as you will, right? Whether you want to do it tonight or whether you want to do it on next weekend's show for the, I know that they're going to run a raffle. Hollow and I are running a raffle for the Megaversary, but the not for resale galleys are one of a kind. The only person who can get those are me, and I only get 5 of them. So I could get more of them, but I only buy 5 to just have a few copies for exactly this kind of thing. I would be pleased to facilitate fulfilling that.
I think we can give away one tonight. I don't see any reason why not.
Yeah.
It works for me if it is enticing to the folks who are here.
That's right. America, possibly Canada. We'll work on that. We'll
Yeah,
see.
if it's farther out than Canada,
Do you want to tell the story of what happened last time?
well, yeah. You start and I'll finish.
Which book was it? Was it your first one? Was it your first book?
It might have been, yeah. It might have. It was early on, at any rate. Maybe it was London Underground, but probably it was To Sir with Love.
But yeah, it was one of those, and we here on the show we did a raffle for winning a paperback copy, and who won it? It was.
I don't even know if I remember the player. I think she's got a Twitter account, and I think she's changed her Twitter tag, so I don't, I can't track it back. But
it was someone who lived in Germany?
Yeah, she was in Germany, and she was very grateful when she finally received it, like 6 months later.
But but apparently, mailing a paperback from the Western U.S. to Germany is quite a hefty price tag.
I seriously kind of blew me away. Which don't get me wrong, I'm delighted to get the books in the hands of people who are interested in reading them.
Right? Yeah.
But
it was almost like $40, $50 or something.
Yeah, it was.
To mail a book to Germany.
Right.
It was ooh,
crazy.
Ooh. Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's funny because I've got a friend, and probably other folks know him that plays in game. Who he and his wife, I believe, are in Tasmania,
Okay.
and she doesn't have any great love for Amazon for a variety of reasons that probably may be obvious to some and maybe not to others. But bottom line is, she said, "I don't want to buy the books from Amazon. I want you to."
Mhm.
I want you to send me copies you have and sign them. I'm like, do you know how much money this is going to take?
Right.
like
Be
really,
hold up
literally.
now.
And so what I ended up doing, and don't tell her this, but I ended up giving her the books and just paying the shipping, charging her for the shipping, and it was well over $100.
Oof.
So
I don't even think it was that bad when because we had to give away.
Didn't you also ship a shirt?
Yes. When we did the Moons of Madness giveaway, we had a shirt which was another streamer on Twitch. His name is Gravity42. He went to a convention that was out in California and got one of the Moons of Madness shirts that they were giving away as a promo, and then shipped that over to me on the East Coast, and then we gave it away. We raffled it off on stream, and then I shipped it off to Ukraine.
Yikes. I actually think I might have been here when you drew the winner on that.
Yeah.
But
I was like, we'll figure out how to do this. I'll figure out how to do this. And no, it wasn't. I don't think it was. It ended up being that bad. Maybe because it was a T-shirt, so it was very light. But it only ended up being like, I think it was maybe like $25, or like it wasn't exorbitant. I'll put it that way. Oh, yeah. Gravity's in chat right now. Okay.
There you go. Yay. But
I was like, oh, you're going? I was like, hey, I need you to go talk to go up to the Funcom tent and find Andy and tell him Ocho sent you.
He has a package for you, and what you're going to do is sit it.
Finally got another bunny head. I've been farming them the whole stream.
Oh, so yeah, the reason why Jimmy hasn't been joining us on the stream here is because Jimmy's been farming bunny heads the entire time.
Yep, I got one.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it takes so long. I was farming them today, and I got 8 SD cards before I got one bunny head. Just this time, I got 1 SD card and a bunny head. I will take that ratio.
Some dude from Jersey told me to go meet a guy.
Yeah,
I'm still slightly disappointed that I never got a moon shirt, mostly because I was supposed to. Because someone I knew that was there had hit me up and sent pictures we're standing here with Andy, we're getting a moon shirt, etc. And I was supposed to get one. And
you're like, get me one, right?
It did it was supposed to be a thing, and I think they also just ran out. It probably just figured oh, we'll get you one after. Then there was no after.
There was none left. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
it.
I was just
and I made one run of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I did want that. I did want that shirt, but so I'm always just a little tear, just solitary tear.
I was saying, to make it just a little creepy though. Don't tell us to whoever won the shirt, but I did put it on and wear it once.
just for the what of it, right? Just to
be like,
now that's just worth more.
Okay, now I can take it off and then I'm
as long as you don't
don't
put it on and start dancing in front of a mirror.
Moons of Madness.
No, you send that clip with it. It's worth more.
That's right.
Worn by Big Mikey Ocho
for 2 seconds, not even a minute, but
Oh yeah, Scooter's been farming bunny heads as well. Yeah, it's freaking bunnies not wanting to share their masks.
To share in to make the rabbit cult bigger.
I because I was talking on my stream earlier this week about because I was farming bunnies on my stream, which Riveting stream content, by the way. just riveting to do the same fight for like 3 hours straight.
Like farming corn.
I think I would prefer farming corn. I prefer watching farming corn.
Watching corn.
I would. Other people might not. But we were talking about the lore, because it's the only place you get the OODA lore is from the SD card that drops in the fight.
Right.
Which a lot of people may not even realize that, because it's not a guaranteed drop. In fact, the bag dropping at all is a rare drop. When it does drop, it's more apt to drop you the SD card than the bunny head, but it only drops one of them at a time. So I'm sure there's tons of people that like have no idea how you get the OODA lore, because nothing tells you that's what happens, or that's where you get it.
Well, Armored Scooter said earlier too in the chat that he said just logged in and I sold all 5 OODA's contracts he put up yesterday.
Yeah, we talked about that on my stream because I've been selling them for like 20 marks. It's like the minimum you can sell something for. If I could give them away, I would. If I could sell it for 0, I would, but you can't. So like
TSWDB intensifies. Yes.
So the thing about the OODA lore though is like there's lore to it that's not in the legend. It's in the SD card itself.
Mm-hmm.
There's an email in there contains more contextual information that isn't actually in the legends you unlock. But one of the things I thought was interesting is that the OODAs are all wearing the Templar costume.
Okay.
So if you look at the legends, the OODAs, one was an assassin for the dragon, one for the Lumi, and one for the Templar.
Mm-hmm.
And it describes them. And the dragon one wore a no mask, which at least from TSW we had the cracked no mask, so we kind of know what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And the Templar was the Usagi mask with like the sailor suit outfit, right? The Lumi one was bloodied pajamas and a Mickey Mouse mask.
That makes sense.
And all of them are wearing the Templar variant. I really want to see
the other two.
And more specifically, I want to see the Lumi one. I want the bloody pajamas and the Mickey Mouse mask. That just sounds something like I want. That's like something I want to see. But yeah, and actually, this is something I remember reporting to Nervel and being like very. It's one of the few times I was like kind of like almost like adamantly pissed off, because at some point they changed something. I think because someone, clearly from the conversation that I had, someone didn't realize that the SD card contained information not in the legends. So at some point in SWL, they made it so when you opened the SD card, it didn't actually open the SD card. It just gave you the legends and auto-closed. And then you could never open it again. So you couldn't actually read the contents of the SD card. And I've always maintained, like, sell your extras, but keep at least one SD card if you ever want to reread it, because that content is nowhere else in the game. But you can never open it again.
Okay.
So that's how it was. And supposedly, I guess, intentionally. And I got super irritated about that. Because this is one of those things that I really like about it, is that, it unlocks the legends, but there's extra info in there.
Yeah, man.
You're gonna make me look through it right now. I have it in my inventory right now.
Yeah, Bomber said there used to be flavor text on the SD card itself that vanished one day. The item just lost flavor text. Yeah, so they did some kind of change. So I remember like railing at Nervel that like you got to be able to read the SD card. There's shit on there that's not in the legends. Like it's not. He thought it was the same content. I was like, it's not the same content. There's a different thing there. Like I've been telling people forever, and I went to redo it, on like a different character, and realized that they did in fact change something since launch. Someone similar decided, we don't need this for whatever reason. I don't know why. Probably some cleanup or something they were trying to do. But they did put it back eventually. Like, long story short, they did eventually put it back.
I was like, I'm accessing it right now. So yeah, they obviously did. Yeah.
Yeah. What I had done in the interim, what I had done is I had extracted the text files from the RDBs, searched through the strings to find the SD card content text, and I posted it to CryGaia. Like, it's one of the few times I've actually edited an article, and got it to just admit to data mining for science, for preservation. Palmer. I specifically grabbed tools and pulled that text to put it on CryGaia.
Listen, they can't expect us to be Secret World players and not try to find all the information we can.
No,
they expect us all to be data miners to a point.
I don't actually know. Like, I've seen the RDB tools. Like, I know how to get images out to use for like icons or backgrounds or something. I know how to pull the image files, and I know how to pull the strings file. But I don't know. Like, I don't know how everyone else finds stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm. To be fair, I haven't really tried. But like, I know people that used to be in different cabals that used to know how to like look up. There was one guy that used to post. Mikey, do you remember this? He used to post like percentage drop chances from like party bags.
Oh yeah.
Like, all the time. I have no fucking clue how you find that. Not the slightest. That, to me, like, that's data mining. Me just pulling out text strings and being able to read text when I want to is hardly anything controversial. If it's who I'm thinking of, I don't believe he got banned. I don't know about threatening Andy thing.
If he threatened Andy, he should be banned. No one threatens Andy.
I mean, that's not true.
I mean, we do all the time, but
I'm just saying. I don't.
But there's a line you cross.
Yeah,
I don't think I have to speak for Andy.
There's
I
line.
think Andy receives threats all the time. I suppose it's a matter of the severity and sincerity of the threat that's of concern.
Did he just say on his Twitter account today? He was like, "If I don't receive at least one, damn it, Andy, every day."
Yeah. No, I think that guy just stopped playing. Like, I don't think he was banned. I think he just got disenfranchised with the thing. Just, you know, some people do. At least the guy I'm thinking of. But yeah, like.
No one's allowed to curse Andy but us.
My point was, I to preserve the data that was in the game, right? And legitimately I had read, and for whatever reason couldn't be found. I went to look at the CryGuy article, and it didn't have the SD card contents either. So I made sure to update the article with like the text that's in the SD card. So should they not decide to fix it or something, at least it would be out there that like this is the text that used to be in the SD card, right? Because it did take them a few months to get around to patching that.
That's Gaia's work. Good job. Seriously.
Yeah.
You know, some of those resources are like invaluable to me at a minimum. When I'm trying to piece things together, I'm looking at the Wayback Machine. I'm looking at Gaia. I'm looking at GSW database. You know,
I love the Wayback Machine.
Yeah, and sometimes it's the only way back. So,
yes.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is missing from the live feed. If you gotta go back to the Wayback Machine, even see some of the older stuff.
Yeah. Or like when a site goes down, and you're just like, well, Wayback Machine, show me what the last version was. I think sometimes you could even do it with Google. Like Google has like like you can click like cached page or something. I've used that before as well, but without having to resort to the Wayback Machine. Google actually, when you use Google search, will have like a link that says like cached page, so you can just like, if all you needed was on like the front page or the link you're clicking on, like it would have that for you, which is kind of cool.
Definitely helpful in a pinch, or if your internet drops for some reason, right?
Yeah.
At least long enough to figure out where you're going.
So why don't we go ahead? Let me learn words tonight. Why don't we go ahead and do the giveaway for the book?
That would be awesome.
Sure.
Ember's fantastic giveaway screen, only seen here. I'm pretty sure it's nowhere else.
Shield your eyes.
and your ears.
Yeah. There's gonna be echo.
Because someone said it didn't go live, but the echo does in fact go live.
We'll do it live.
Sorry.
Oh. Echo.
Here we go.
Oh.
If I learn how to spell.
Starting giveaway.
Type exclamation mark. Join.
Of course, Vollmer's the first one in there.
Just three.
That's it.
More. Okay, last year I want to give it. Not last year.
I will.
Yeah, Canada shouldn't be too hard.
That's what she said.
The entire country.
Just don't try to leave with maple syrup.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
It's a small name. It's
Bomber.
Congratulations. Type in chat.
Congratulations.
Rigged. Listen, I don't know if we could rig that if we tried. That's just such a weird.
I just like guessing the name, like as few letters as possible.
Yeah, it's like.
Like, who's it going to be?
Wait, I know it.
Well, as it happens, I know Vollmer's. He and I have exchanged emails, so Vollmer, just send me your address, and I will be happy to sign it and get it in the mail to you post haste as of this weekend.
Post haste.
And then you'd be one of the first ones who might get a paperback version in the world.
Indeed, and a one-of-a-kind paperback version, or a five-of-a-kind. But still very rare.
Just doesn't have the same ring to it.
I know.
Five of a kind.
Like, eh.
Sounds like a poker hand.
Very collector's edition.
I mean, it is a super limited collector's edition.
Yeah. Individually numbered.
There you go.
And there will be there will also be one for the Megaversary. Or
well, yeah, no, what we decided, Hollow and I are going to split it up, and I'll take care of the U.S. winners, and he'll take care of the sort of UK Europe winners, insofar as Amazon will allow us to distribute.
okay,
They really, it's stupid the countries they won't print in or send to. So we have to have some place where we have a friendly with an Amazon account who can facilitate this. And so as a result, I think we went with, don't quote me, look at the forum, but I think it's 3 and 3 US winners, three European UK winners, and we'll disperse them in that regard. But they won't be a galley.
no.
So there you go, Bomber. It's on its way to you as soon as I have your address and someplace to send.
Excellent. So, well, thank you for doing the giveaway. Much appreciated.
Yeah, no problem. I'm delighted, and it's just happy accident that they arrived today, so I had it to do.
There you go. See, we could also give away. I'm afraid to do another giveaway.
Right, I'm going double mute again. Hopefully nobody heard me yelling at my dog. Can you let my husband? Can you let the dogs in, honey?
It is
right
here,
interesting,
right here,
Freudian
right
slip
here.
there.
But
Who let the dogs out?
Who let them in or didn't?
And that's because Hollow Point gave us quite a few things to give away. But then he thought the stream, the tonight's stream was going to be the Megaversary stream. So.
Oh, gotcha.
And there's Hollow Point now.
There he is.
Hey, he's back.
I was saying, but he
timing.
He did give us some giveaways, which I'm going to save most of these for next week, I think. But maybe we can give away one right now. Which I think is going to be is a nice little haul here. It's 100 Mark IV weapon fragments, which is 1/3 of the way to a 4th weapon.
400 weapon.
Starting giveaway.
Why? Starting giveaway.
Every time.
Yeah, this doesn't go out live. They don't hear the echo.
Yes, they do. That was last week.
We'll do it again. Do you guys hear an echo? Yes or no?
Nah. I don't.
See?
Lies.
I think when Waffle talks, there is no echo.
No, yeah. It's only us.
Yeah, you don't echo. We echo. Echo.
Echo, yeah. See, echo is awesome. It adds flavor.
Echo has sticky bombs. And a beam.
Yeah.
Different game. Sorry.
Nerf this.
So if you end up winning, give me your address, and I'll ship it off to you.
I would like to receive in the mail just like a box of like fragments of like a pistol.
It's just a kitchen knife that I broke.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at that. As long as it was 100 fragments of your broken knife. Oh, here we go.
Armored.
Rig.
All right.
Did you see how early I called that?
Type in chat to
What's that?
You see how early I called that? I called that on like 3 letters or something.
So yes, Armored, I will go into my kitchen and I will break a few knives. It'll be a weapon fragments. No, if you want to meet us out and just shoot me a whatever. I'll come meet you.
Hand delivered those fragments.
Hand delivered by an Ocho. So I'll just put my character name in the stream, just to make it easier. And now we're not echoing. Now it feels empty.
I missed the war.
You're in the Orochi Tower at the moment. Okay, well we'll figure it out.
Well, you can go to the lobby.
I can. It's true.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. I actually went to the theater, but I didn't go to the movies.
You just went to the lobby?
Pretty much. I dropped my kid off for a birthday party.
Look at that. You can even teleport there. I forgot that.
Right there, too.
Yeah. I mean, Scooter's farming for Bunnyhead, so every time he finishes, he's got to come down to the lobby anyway. So
True. I'm just hanging out here with Kyoto.
You walk into empty. I just miss the company of my own voice. Is that so wrong? Goddamn SD cards.
And both Wet and Ember have joined. And Waffle, dang you.
Oh, you have failed,
Happens.
sir.
I have to drink. Take a shot.
Oh, hold
Yeah,
on.
everybody take a shot.
I got you covered.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, look, I found you guys.
Hey!
Hey, look who it is.
I literally just happened to finish getting a goddamn SD card, so I'm here. Where's Scooter? On my way.
Possibly be here shortly. Either that or we've taken up the max amount of space in the...
They're taking the stairs.
I don't think the max space is 4.
Not in the same instance? Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, you might have to meet up, but it's not max to 4. It's at least 5. Because you can full group stuff.
Unable to meet up. No discovered animal wells in this area. All right. Hold on.
Well, wait. They're meeting up. Don't meet. You're going to cause like a feedback loop if you're meeting up on them.
Yeah, you'll break the game.
True.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell no.
Creating some sort of... Right, we'll end up in a void somewhere and...
There goes the
That's
servers.
how you end up like in New York Raid or something and get auto-booted out over and over again.
But it says we can't meet up anyway because it says there's no discovered animal wells in this area. Oh, wait. There. See the lengths we go to deliver prizes.
It's that personal touch, you know?
That's right. Use them well. Or sell them on the auction house, or do whatever you want. Actually make good. That's part of what that's one of the tips for newer players is
Yes.
Once you get to level 50, if you start running Dark Agartha and get the fragments, but you need to like level up your gear faster, one of the best ways to do that or to get the better gear is to sell off the fragments because
you don't need those for a long time.
Right, yeah.
And they're actually worth something. So it's a good way to
It's a good way to get the marks of favor up to start buying the stuff that you actually need.
I actually had someone hit me up in game completely randomly. Like they sent me a tell, and by the way, I hate when people do this. Why is this game dead? Like, my initial reaction is die. Secondarily, I was like, it's not. And then they proceed with a bunch more questions, and then I helped them with stuff, and answered some of their questions, and then I gave them like 5 talismans and a bunch of things. I was like, here, and they were asking about, I think, like sprints and pets, and I was showing them the vendors in Agartha, and then I was like, I'm broke. I'm always broke. I never have marks, because as soon as I have marks, I spend them on something. But I was like, you know what? Hold on here. I have 60 fragments for you. And I gave him like 60. I think like, no, 60? 20? I don't know. I gave him some amount of weapon fragments. I was like, here, sell those. You'll
get yourself a nice little, yeah.
Oh, thanks, Armored, for the bunny head. Thanks, Scooter. We'll go add that to the pile.
Did he pass over a bunny head for you?
Yeah. But yeah. I gave out fragments as like a here's some starting currency.
Trade these, yeah. This is valuable. Trade it up.
You made the mistake of activating the other one? That's not a mistake. If you can activate a bunny head, it means you didn't have it. You should always have a bunny head.
I mean, both Ember and I know have bunny heads already.
Yeah.
Handed to us from Jimmy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Of course we do.
I have killed over 5,000 Udas. I have supplied a vast amount of people with bunny heads.
Also, Icy Claws, right?
And Icy Claws, yes. There should be an army of bunny-headed Icy Clawed players.
That
Just
sounds
at
like
all
a
times.
New York Raid 17 in the making, right? Everybody has to have Icy Claws and bunny heads to play.
We did that. It was before E17 was a thing. I think one of our E10 raids, maybe. I'm pretty sure we're like 7 of 10 people running bunny heads, and I was like, okay, look, we just need to commit. Everyone else just put on, I don't care what you're doing, put on your bunny head. We're just gonna all bunny this. Full bunny squad.
That's an unfortunate view, Waffle.
Yeah.
Content.
Exactly. Why are you looking at in Beta's ass?
Why
mean,
not?
Because normally when I think of demon ass, it's a different character I'm thinking of. That has wings.
What was I just looking up recently? It was the voice actor who did. I'm gonna give away the joke there. The voice actor who did Saccharissa.
Oh, you were? I like how you're going back to it. You're going for the upskirt and beta shot.
Words don't upskirt in beta. Oh no!
You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there.
Oh, this is a family-friendly show. Sorry.
Wait, it is? What am I doing here? I know it's not.
If it's family friendly, then the video we showed last week was totally. We would have gotten banned for that.
It's a different kind of family. It's the aristocrats.
Oh, that was it. That's right. The same voice actor who voices Saccharissa also voices Rose White and Cassie.
Okay. I can see that.
Catherine Tabor.
That
did Rose White, Cassandra King, Karen Olsen, and Saccharissa.
Oh, the Karen Olsen is the one on Blue Mountain.
Yeah,
Mhm.
She's the OPSME agent.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Hey, Waffles got the bunny head.
I forget what it was for. Oh, I think I was looking up another actor who, or the actor who did The guy at the very end, with the hat. I forget his name right now.
Oh, Barry Hoon.
Barrahoon, yes. I was looking at the actor who did, because I was watching a stream, and they're like, whoever this is, they do a really good job. And his name is Don Wallace, but he doesn't voice anyone else in the game.
Yeah, what's interesting is that he's actually, in the game as early as the beginning of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't come back into play again until New Dawn.
But that's when I saw that like Timothy Watson voices the station master, Petru, Dr. Klein, and Amir. All 4 of those are done by the same actor.
Wow, really? The Jinn is the same guy as the station master,
and the same guy as Dr. Klein. So
that I can see. Like I guess more.
Carrie Walgren does Kirsten Geary and Tanis.
Who?
The Tanis would be the
the one with the snakes, Tanis.
Tanis.
Yeah, the other Phoenician.
Tanis.
Yeah, it's like Tanis.
Tanis.
Taint us.
Suddenly, I was brought back to him, Beta's backside.
What's that?
And just certain voice actors that they've had that have doubled up over the time. Like the more obvious ones is like Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah. Scooter, I think you can do Story Penthouse together. I'm pretty sure that's not locked. I know you can do the boardroom together. Can you not do? I mean, I maybe I haven't tried. When you come back to the lobby, let me know. We can try and group up since we both have the mission at the same spot. We could see if it lets us both up there. No, I just mean the farming the mission, not the dungeon.
But you see, Hollow Point, this is what I mean by we end up devolving into just randomness.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Vollmer said, the story is effectively on the mission. Yeah, the dungeon, you have to be like a elite, whatever. What is it? Elite 14 or 13?
No, don't think that. Sorry, don't think that. I almost did it again. Don't think that Waffle and I can join you for that.
No, but like you would have had to already done the first part of the boardroom mission. But if you had the mission paused there, like you would be able to come.
Oh yeah,
bunny heads.
Without completing it.
Yeah, you have to do the first part versus the Mitsubashi. Then once you get to the Uda fight, you can just keep resetting it over and over. The thing is, you have to not do any other main missions. If you pick up another main mission and then you go back and pick up the mission again, it starts you at the Mitsubashi again. So like you can't pause the mission and pick it up at the Uda fight. It's just that if you're in the mission and you kill the Udas and leave and come back, it puts you at the Udas. But if you pause the mission, it just resets back to the beginning. I'm not a sub, so after the fight, I have to take the elevator back out of the lobby. What is being? I don't think a sub is what gives you the well. Or you just mean that which costs you anima shards?
Yeah, it's not free for.
Yeah, but you can still do
players.
it.
But it's not a lot of anima shards, right?
It depends on your level and what you're doing. I mean, 1K shards means literally nothing to me, but I do have like free to play accounts and alts. I do know the value of shards is relative to your need of them, right?
Right.
So, Vollmer, How do you run out of anima shards? I couldn't run out of anima shards if I tried. I have 8.8 million anima shards right now. And a museum that's finished. I literally could do the museum again and still have anima shards left over.
I think if you do, was it? Well, I have a run of Kaiden that I do, and it's a pretty quick run. It's like I know you have a run of Kaiden too, Jimmy, but the run that I have is 25 minutes, and at minimum is 37,000 anima shards.
Jurenev has 18 million anima shards.
18 million. I die a lot for science. Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but okay. What is it, like 800 shards to repair your anima or something? Not only that, you don't have to repair until you want to. You could die infinitely and never repair that. Just affects your damage output. 1K if you break your soul? Yeah, but even so, like if you're just dying nonstop, there's no need to repair. Well, that was weird. I swear I just saw someone run past me. That was a bizarre glitch.
Who would it have been?
I think Jordan said Leo Grimm was 25 million or something. Yeah, I think Leo finally stopped playing, basically. But richest free-to-play player I know, and honestly probably the richest player, period. He had some insane amount of shards and an insane amount of moth, too. He's like, Leo Grimm is like a dragon. He just sits on his pile of marks of fate.
Sitting on his hoard.
Yeah, he just sits on his hoard. That's all. That's like, he doesn't spend it on anything.
Spend it on anything. I'm not gonna put that back into the game economy. It'll break the economy.
I think he was talking about it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think he had figured out he probably, if he decided to like liquidate, he could literally just break the exchange.
I mean, I don't know how much more of the exchange
could be broken, but
could be even more broken, right? There is a minimum. There is a bare minimum for the exchange, and I know it's hit it a number of times.
Yeah, it's 300. Well, 300 orm is the max it can go up to, like per mark. So one mark of favor can never be worth more than 300 orm. That's as high as it can go. But he could tank it. He could buy everything up and just sell everything off like super cheap. He could potentially tank the market.
It's true. It's true.
So he's the 0.01%.
They'd have to roll back. Here we go.
Yeah, he could have. I doubt he spent it. I have burned through millions of marks, but every time I get it, I just spend it. like it's. I have all the. Well, no, I think I'm missing like one. I'm missing like one agent still. What I was doing for a while was I was flipping all my extra fragments and imbuers and stuff for moths. I probably spent like 20 or 30 million moths just converting to Orm and buying booster packs with the stupid agent cards so I could get all the agents.
Well, I guess I must stop using greens on my mythic gear. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a point where you're using the greens. Yeah.
That's the other thing about Leo, too, is he didn't just hoard. He sold everything. Like, I just vendor shit. Like, I don't care, right? Or I'll even delete stuff. Leo,
you've got a Tetris thing going on with your inventory.
Well, yeah, that too. But he would get, do your side mission run or whatever. He would get like green towels and just be like 50 marks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like every little penny counts. He would just sell all his stuff.
The Scrooge McDuck of Secret World.
Yeah, for sure. Sterling said I put all my greens into gear, red gear. Yeah, I've done that. I do that. I still do that. I'll get the green distillates from agent mission turn-ins and throw them into red gear. That's really not caring about your anima shards. You're just like, yeah, whatever.
The animations can get out of sync. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, I remember noticing
a lot
that
of stuff can get out of sync. Yeah.
Well, okay, here's a fun fact. It can also get in sync.
True.
And I don't mean the band.
True.
So oddly enough, like if 3 people are dancing in Agartha, the same dance, if you like meet up and load in, you'll see them dancing in sync, even if on their screens they're not. Like even without like the shoes that actually sync you up, like the game will just be like, I think what it does is like these characters are dancing this dance, and so for you, it just starts it at step 1. You know, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So the clients are oftentimes like don't always see the same thing. We used to have these contests in TSW of who could get the highest on the Agartha tree, because you could like climb up the sides, you know, and then like, like kind of jiggle your way up.
Kind of, yeah.
And so you like
your way up
maybe
there.
like sending each other screenshots back and forth, like I'm above you. No, I'm above you.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I'm really above you. No, you're not. Yeah.
Yeah, depending whose screen you're on, like the one person's higher than the other. So we would just be like sending screenshots back and forth, trying to like make sure we're higher than the other person.
So we also want to give a quick gonna do a quick rundown of what the Megaversary is going to be. So some of the events that are going to be taking place with the Megaversary that is going to be going on starting next week, sometime next week. Can't quite give you a day, but next week. Because it can't start any other week, and it hasn't started this week.
Wait, there's not a schedule? There's no schedule posted?
No, there's a schedule posted for the Megaversary. No, I mean the anniversary. Who knows when it starts? The Megaversary is starting.
Yeah, but I mean, I was just asking if Hollow would put up like the actual like start dates of events. So I'm pretty sure they exist.
Yes, because I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
So starting on Wednesday, June 23rd, we have the Animated Angst ARG event. Duration determined by puzzle solution speed. Thursday, we have World Bosses with 9 swords. Friday, more World Bosses. With Legio Fulminata. Saturday, Megaversary opening show with DJ Malik and DJ Raygun. And also a Bike Race 1 going on. Sunday, a Kill the Webbit Rosenbrawl event. That's yours, Jimmy.
Wait, what day is that?
Sunday. June 27th.
I thought Mom... Oh, that's next? Okay, yes, next. I was like, wait, it's not this weekend.
No. Next week.
Okay.
June 27th. To be then followed up with the Blind Bad Date contest.
Yes.
Where
Both
you
should
eat...
be interesting.
Right, eat bad dates and try... Whoever can heal themselves. Whoever can stay the longest.
This is the first post-patch bad date event.
Yeah, post
the rebalance.
Post rebalance, yeah.
Yeah.
Then to be followed up with later on that evening, a Story Night RP event, which I've attended in the past. Then Monday, more World Bosses. Let's see. Tuesday, nothing? I don't know. Then go into the second week of the Megaversary. Again, starting Wednesday, June 30th. Animated Angst, the ARG, continuing. Thursday, July 1st, World Bosses with 9 swords again. Saturday, July 3rd, more World Bosses. The 9 Swords 9th Anniversary Party with 9 Swords and Happy Tentacle Radio. And Bike Race number 2. Sunday, July 4th, Father Duffy's Fight Club. And then a fancy dress show with Happy Tentacle Radio.
Now, throughout I will be streaming, and when I'm streaming, I will be raffling off Icy Claws.
And so that's just what's on the calendar, the more official Megaversary 4 calendar. But yes, throughout there will also be other streams and.
Well, my thing is technically an event. It just isn't all the time, so it doesn't have a
set schedule,
a calendar slot. It's just whenever I'm streaming, I'll be giving away Icy Claws. That's my like Christmas in July.
Christmas in July. On top of the Kill the Wabbit, Rosenbrawl event, and Blind Bad Date. But even on top of that, and I'm trying to think of it off the top of my head, when PvP, Shambhala PvP Saturdays. Also, yes, between 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 1700 to 1900 Universal Time is when Secret World players have decided to get together and PvP in Shambhala, which is also still going on during the Megaversary as well. So we come up with a time on Saturdays for Shambhala lovers so that it may be easier for us to get pops and play. So you want a PvP in Secret World? Aside from Rosenbrawl, if you want to do the Shambhala PvP, 1 to 3 p.m. on Saturdays, Eastern Time. Figure it out.
I'm so close. I now have 9 bunny heads.
How many are you going for?
10.
Okay.
I want to have 10 to give away. That's the plan for the Kill the Rabbit event.
As you see, we're now mostly all dressed in bunny heads and Icy Claws.
I can do the claws. Let's see. There we go.
So yeah, a lot of fun set up for the Megaversary. Megaversary is, of course, a player-run event that is not sponsored, but is helped by the developers, because there is a lot of giveaways. And I didn't even go into, that's just the stuff on the calendar. The stuff that is on the schedule, I can go over it a little bit, but it's going to include even more stuff. Go on to the forums. I'm just going to drop the forum post real quick.
Thanks, Drenith.
For special agent raffles, art raffles, which are more giveaways of Bloodwed's book that we mentioned, writing contests, screenshot contests. Lava Game champion? What? Is there a Lava Game? Or is it just someone cursing at Lava Game? I don't know. Right side, the bike races.
If you look on the forums, are you reading my effing Lava Game post?
Oh, is that yours?
For the video?
Oh, that's what that is. Okay, yes. I thought that was someone else cursing at Lava Game. I was like, who curses at Lava Game anymore? Jimmy did.
Wait, what? You don't have a bunny head?
I don't have any bunny heads. And if you give me one, then you will only have 8. That wouldn't be good.
That's fine.
I was going to say, Jimmy can get another one.
Okay, hang on a second. I'll be back after I get one, right?
He's literally farming one right now.
2 minutes later.
Also, but to Drenith said, I saved your son twice from the storm in Shambhala. So last weekend, I was playing Secret World, and my 5-year-old came downstairs and he wanted to play.
Okay.
And so we did Shambhala together, and we kept getting on opposite teams. And it was pretty fun, pretty funny. He just runs around and swings his sword a bunch. I wasn't doing a whole lot better. I haven't played Shambhala in a while, so you know. But it was pretty wild. And then of course Tome was playing, and there was this really funny sequence where There's this really funny sequence where we got split on different teams, but I saw that he was on Tome's team, and I was like, "Oh, you'll be okay. You'll win. You'll win. You're on Tome's team. You'll be fine." Okay. And that was like the one match Tome loses. And I was like, "Tome, I told my kid he would win because you're on his team.
Yeah, what are you doing?"
I
gave him my word. Yeah.
And then I think finally both of us ended up on Tome's team. And then we both died, but he won. I was like, okay. we're good.
I don't think I even have that dance.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
They gave you an SD card to go with it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. All right, on goes the head.
With the icy claws.
With the icy claws,
of course.
As reported.
Must join us. Join us. The cult of the rabbit.
But yeah, I didn't know that, Dreneth, that you evulsioned him out of the storm. So you had to have been on the opposite team for that to work, right? I don't think you can evulsion a team member. That's funny. Yeah, I tried to tell him you can't run into the snow, like the snowstorm part. It's like because he has a tendency of just spamming the sword AoE and just jumping around, which works fine, like in a lot of the game.
That's like usually, yeah, that's how you play.
But yeah, in Shambhala, like the storm gets closer and closer, right? It's like that ring closing kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll just be jumping and like jump that direction, like not really know what he's doing. He ran back out after his evulsion, so I had to use Pandemonium next. He was insistent on getting into the storm, huh?
I'm going. Can't stop me. That's all right.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool that we actually did Shambhala PvP together. It's pretty neat. And then it was like yesterday, the day before, the streamer that I helped with the lava game thing, they were on because they're like in the Netherlands. They were on, and he likes to say hi to them, and I'll type that he said hi, and she'll like wave and say hi to him, and he thinks it's like a two-way, like it's like a FaceTime or something. So like, I have to be the in between. Like I have to type what he's saying to her so that she can respond, because he doesn't currently get that. Like,
oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
In fact, he thinks phone calls are FaceTime. Like if someone's on the phone, like grandma's on the phone or something, and like you want to talk to them, he'll be like, "Look at this," and try and show it to the phone. Like that's not how this works. This is audio only. She can't see what you're talking about. But it was so funny because I was like working, but I was watching him for like I think his mom was at work or at lunch or something, and so I let him play on the other computer, and then he's watching the stream, and he hopped in, was running around because she was like killing champions in Kingsmouth, and so he was doing that with her on stream, just playing.
Not bad.
Yeah. Then I have to go back to work. You gotta go. You gotta go back upstairs, buddy. He's like, no, I want to play Secret World.
Yeah, no, I want to play more. So no, yeah, our son, he's like, can we call Grandma? I want to call Grandma. And the whole reason why he wants to call Grandma is not actually to talk to Grandma, but to play with all the face features, like the
oh yeah,
Right.
Give him
change
some
your
ears.
yeah. Like I'm gonna make myself a taco, and then whatever.
Yeah, yeah. We had similar issues with filters.
Yeah,
they would just.
He's like, can we call her? I just want to call her, just because
we have
reasons.
The portal thing. You know what the portal is?
The Facebook, right?
Yeah. So like, you just like put it. It's like a bar, you put on top of your TV or below it or whatever, and like it just looks at like your whole living room basically. The nice thing about that though is it does have like a basically pick a background and filters function.
Okay.
So you don't have to call someone. They would just spend like 2 hours just flicking through stuff and making faces at the TV.
Oh, okay.
Because you can see yourself.
Oh, he might be totally into that.
Yeah, because it's showing you, then you pick your background and you pick a filter, and you just move around. And you can see it, like the dragon one, where like you open your mouth and then your head's a dragon and it breathes fire when you open your mouth.
Yep.
They love that shit.
That's exactly the kind of talk.
Other colored bunny heads currently. There's only the Usagi white mask.
They don't want to muscle in on Jimmy's racket.
You can color it yourself if you go through the QBL floor and paint can. You can get some nice blue paint marks temporarily on your Usagi mask. That's about it.
I say if they suddenly made like a blue bunny mask, there'd suddenly be like rival gangs in Secret World. Just
the rabbits versus the bunnies.
Right?
Boy.
Yeah, just different colors. I submitted to someone. If you've seen the Sprint, right? It's got like the ghostly, like sort of like Sasquatch skull, basically. It's like a giant skull over your head that's like see-through and green.
I think
I've got
so.
it, actually.
Yeah.
I think maybe not on this tune, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I mean, I have it, but it doesn't look quite the same on top of the bunny head. It does look creepy, but it doesn't look quite the same. Ghost Runner, here it is. So you can kind of see like it's sticking out.
Yeah, trying to come through the face. Yeah.
Yeah. If I take the Usagi mask off, you'll see that it's a
face reveal.
A rare view. Quick, get it on camera.
There it is.
But if you look at the skull, it's like a huge skull on top of your head, right?
I love how my first actual reaction was to look away. Like it was,
don't look.
Like I was like, no.
So
I can't look.
What I submitted was I want a Sprint that's like this, but it's the Usagi mask, right? like a ghostly Usagi mask.
Okay, yeah.
Sprint. I think that'd be cool as shit.
And why not, right?
Because then I could have the bunny head without having the bunny head. You know what I mean? The end of the world.
The end of the world is here, right? This is one of the signs of the apocalypse. Sorry, folks. We're starting it now.
But like,
we had a good run.
I think it would be really cool to have a Sprint that's like the Wraith version of like the bunny head, right? Like ghostly white.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of like how this Sprint is, but
yeah, kind of see through ish.
Yeah, instead of like they clearly use what looks like the Sasquatch skull. Honestly, that looks like the size of it.
Yeah,
but if you just use the same model for the Usagi mask, but made it like sort of, I don't know, whitish smoke colored or something.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That would be kind of neat looking. I submitted that idea, but it hasn't happened yet. I would be super stoked if it did, though.
The Sprint survey. Revenant feathers. That'd be a good idea.
You requested electricity sprints and revenant feathers because the shocking steps eventually. Yeah, and Gatekeeper's touch is kind of like a similar sort of. The one I have right now is the Gatekeeper's one, which is like the short circuit stuff. It's kind of electrical as well.
The true end boss of Secret World. It's Jimmy with his mask off.
The big reveal.
You hit your 50 kills on Udas. I've killed, I think, like 300 or more today.
Wow. Today,
yeah.
And it's just past midnight, so in the past 18 minutes.
No. I see what you did there.
Yeah. Those are the jokes, folks. Those are the jokes you get.
Yeah. Let's see. It's combat. Would it be? I would need it from the 3 of them, right? So, wow, I have like a 3 meg combat log today. Holy shit. I made a batch file so that I could actually keep the count going on my stream when I was farming on stream.
Okay.
So it's like it just basically keeps doing a grep, which is like a Unix or Linux function to count stuff in a
grep
get stuff out of a text file.
Comma white.
I just grep Uda died from the combat log. I can see how many Udas I have killed. But here, let's see. I have to make. So the first one. There was none in that log. This one. I know this one has a ton in it because it's a 3 meg log. That's 245 in that log file.
Oh, Armor just started killing them with the stream tonight. Just put on the stream and farmed Uda. Good use of time.
157. I think that's what I've done since the stream started. Is 157 actually. So today
since the stream started, 2 hours and 42 minutes.
Today I've killed 402. That's what I've killed today. 402 Udas. Now you have to divide by 3 because there's 3 that you kill per time you're up there, right?
Right.
So I've actually done the fight
about 50
roughly
times.
134 times.
Okay. But 50 times since the stream started. So about the same as Armored. Okay.
Now that can be a little off because I think I've broke the fight a couple of times. When you break the fight, it's usually like you either kill 2 bunnies and one's left permanently shielded and you can't do anything about it. You have to just teleport down to the lobby and reset because you're just screwed, like you're stuck. Or you killed 1 Uda in the wrong order and 2 of them are shielded. Since I got perfectly divisible by 3, I think I broke it twice.
Okay.
Like 1 each way. I think I broke one way and 1 the other way. So it's possible that you kill some Udas and get nothing just because you broke the instance, and therefore you can't finish it, so you can't get a loot bag drop. Right?
That's fair.
Yeah, that's true.
My curse and restart, I guess.
My gear is all maxed in scooters in Mythic. Have
a good night, Bomber.
See you, Bomber.
Night.
Night, Bomber.
Oh, Hollow Point. I didn't see that. You said you have a surplus mask from last year. Cool. Well, there you go. That makes up for the one I just gave Bloodway.
There you go.
There's your 10. Sweet.
Technically given by Hollow Point.
Even better. It's a.
I think that still puts me at 9. I think I still get one more, but
You're at 8, and you gave me one that gives you 7, and he has 3. Was my count. Granted, I have.
Oh, he has 3.
No knowledge of any of this. I thought I read 3. Maybe I'm just blind.
Technically, Hollow Point said I have S.
S.
I don't know.
Okay, I am blind.
I saw surplus. I just assumed it was 1. Either way.
Right,
Yeah,
Armor.
Scooter
Right, you got one
gave
from Armor too, right?
Scooter gave 1, but that was already part of my total. Well, yeah, so it's 1 from Hollow. So I think I still need 1. That's not a big deal. That's easy. My event isn't until next week. I can kill 1,000
You
more
can get
Udas.
1.
Right, you'll be giving away 30 by the time we get to next week.
Oh no! Once I hit 10, I'm just gonna summon.
You're done.
That's enough. I'm
that's
just seeing bunnies in my sleep, as it is. The fight is mostly waiting. They HP lock all the time. Like when I first walk in, I hit one, it goes down to 75% health immediately and then locks for like the next 5 seconds because it has to walk to its point. It does its little kata, right? The little karate sequence it goes through to be like an honorable combat. Mm-hmm. And then it attacks me. I hit it again, but it can't lose health. It's already HP locked. Then it shields. Then the other guy has to walk towards the center, do its kata exercise. Honorable combat, has to finish casting, comes out of its thing, and then you can attack it. And you do go through that cycle at least twice, at least 2 times per bunny. Unless you manage to bug them. The problem is if you bug them and like make it so their shield doesn't show up, you oftentimes can also break the fight, and then you have to start all over anyways. It's rarely worth bugging is what I'm saying, because the downside is so harsh, like a complete reset versus taking another 30 seconds to just do the fight, you know? The average fight, I don't know what Scooters, if you know your average fight time is. I think my average fight time is something like 40 seconds or something.
After an hour of this combat, I usually just go to sleep. Great way to get ready for bed.
I did a 3-hour stream, Scooter. All I did was sit for 3 hours.
Those secret world dreams hit a little differently. You've been there, right? Like after you play for a long time, then you go dream, and suddenly your dream is just all secret world or all whatever game you've been playing.
It doesn't. I don't think it happens to me too much with Secret World. I'm not sure why, but I have experienced that.
Yeah.
The most craziest one was, I think, Quake 2 Deathmatch.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I was running a route, and like there was on this deathmatch server, everyone had left like one guy, and we were just 1v1ing each other, right? Because we're the only ones there. And then he's like, "Oh, I have to go to dinner. I'll be back." I was like, "Okay." And so I was waiting like an hour and a half for him to come back, and I was just running. Like no one else came in the server. I was just running a route the whole time, the same circle of the entire map. And in Quake 2, you could pick up small armor shards and small health shards that like could make you go above your normal max. I think you normally maxed like 200 armor or 200 health.
Okay.
If you picked up the little shards that gave you like 1 point each, you could go over the max. By the time he showed back up, I had like 3,000 health and armor because I had been running a route picking up all the 1 point pieces over and over and over for like an hour and a half straight. So when he finally came back to play deathmatch, he couldn't kill me for like 20 minutes. Like I could take rockets to the face and like my armor would go down and still be like 2,500 or something. Like I was unkillable. But when I went to sleep, in my head, it was just me running that route.
Like, just over and over again.
Dreams. Ugh,
yeah, it was literally just like being on a rail, you know, like a tram.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could, at least when my eyes closed, I didn't have to be asleep. When my eyes closed, whoop, I'm running the route. It's like, holy shit.
You're like, this can't be healthy.
Shit I've done with Legends, I can't, and maybe I just forgotten, but I can't really recall going to sleep and like, you know, like doing lava game or something, right? Like in my sleep. I can't recall that happening. Even when I farmed corn for 2 hours, like
you didn't even go to bed and have a dream about actually farming corn.
Chucking corn.
Yeah, I don't think so. But I think that's because that's not like, it's a repetitive task, but the action is varied enough if you think about it. Like I'm not standing at the same corn stalk over and over, or even going to the same two. Like True. You run around and they're random, and then sometimes locusts pop up and sometimes they don't. And sometimes you shell. It's like there's enough variety that my brain doesn't like lock in and like do the loop thing. I guess. But yeah, I have experienced what you're talking about. But
Mm-hmm.
the last time that happened for me, I think, was Quake 2, which is decades ago.
Oh no! So for me, I'm very sensitive to it for whatever reason. Like if I get into a game and it's like it's just the method of like the questing or the this or the that when I go to sleep and I dream, suddenly my dream is like in that structure. It's in that, and it's not usually like this. It's not usually like the exact same thing. Like if I dream of like Elder Scrolls or something like that, like it won't be in the Elder Scrolls world necessarily, but it will be structured like the game itself. But I have that all the time, like maybe even like 2-3 times a month.
There was a game. Here it is. I found it. It's called Clyde's Adventure. It's a really old side-scrolling game. And you're like, it's like a guy with a dad bod paunch and a magic wand. But he doesn't. But it's just like
seems legit.
And he's just like normal. I mean, it's really low graphics, but he's not like in a wizard's costume or anything. It looks like you gave a normal plumber just like a wand and said, "Here, go use this wand." Like, but you would use the wand, and certain bricks it could make disappear. And the way the levels worked is like you would jump around and use your wand to make certain bricks disappear at certain times, or maybe even turn them on and off. I forget, and collect little, I don't know, gems on the screen or some shit. It's a really fucking old game.
Okay.
Right? Like 386 DOS kind of shit.
Yeah.
That was the first game that ever did it to me. I went to sleep, and there's like fat guy with a wand and disappearing blocks, and that's all my brain could see. So I played that game when I was like, I don't know, like 13 or something for like an insane amount of time. And when I went to sleep, all I could see was the disappearing and reappearing blocks burned into my retinas.
I think the game that I first started really hitting me on, that I really took notice of it, was World of Warcraft. I think that was that was when I played it like that was when I played it like 2001, like, or no, not 2001. When did it come out? 2011. I missed off a decade or so. I
remember having a roommate that played WoW, and I never got into it. And I think partially because my roommate pissed me off. Because I would.
Not a terrible.
I came back from somewhere, and like the trash can, like outside his room, is stacked like 2 feet above the trash can. Like, why the fuck haven't you taken the trash out? It's not that hard. Like, and he would just keep going in and out of his room because it would literally, like, his door was like right to the kitchen, and the trash can's like right there, and he would just drop shit and go back to WoW. Like, he just had a fucking pile. And I was like, God damn, man, take 5 fucking minutes.
You're like, just stop.
Like,
I think it was 2005. I think, because I didn't start the first year.
Mountain, like,
yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? And because he played WoW and was such an asshole, I think that's one of the reasons. Like, I never got into WoW in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Because
such a turnoff.
Yeah. I think here's the thing. I played Warcraft. I played Warcraft 2. I played Warcraft 3. Both
great games.
I played StarCraft. World of Warcraft, never fucking touched it. and I've tried to watch people stream it. Like, I had friends, that stream, and I was like, I'll watch their stream and help them out. Just go view. I can't fucking stand watching WoW. I watch people play Secret World. I've played well over like 13,000 hours of Secret World, and I will still go watch other people play the game. I can't watch anyone play Warcraft.
There's something about it, yeah. And I'm sort of the same way now. Like, I stopped playing after their second expansion, and just never went back. Just never did.
I never played it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It
also
never caught my eye. I'm like,
it's now partially Secret World's fault because I have a very hard time playing any game that doesn't have like good story, and it's actually hard to find.
Oh,
completely ruined me.
You're like, but how deep is the lore? Yeah.
Yeah. What was the Terra?
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some of my old Secret World Cabal at some point had tried when things
one of the first more action combats.
Yeah, so they tried Terra and they wanted me to like go play it with them, and I made an account, got on the server. Oh my god, I wanted to sharpen a pencil and shove it in my eye. Like the story, if you could call it that.
If you could call it that, yeah.
So bad. Like I think you're talking like kindergarten level writing. And I want to say some of the first quests, or one of the first quests, was like literally go get the kitten out of the tree. And I'm just like, fuck off.
Like, no.
In Secret World, if you tell me in Secret World to go get a kitten out of a tree, there is backstory to that. That
kitten like has seen stuff. Yeah.
That kitten has tentacles.
No, even technically you do retrieve a cat. It's in Blue Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
That cat scratches the holy shit out of you. You have to fight a mud golem to get the cat. And then when you find it in the
Moonbug.
Yeah. When you find it there, you're instantly attacked by a giant mud golem, and you're like, oh, it's a cat. Oh, it obviously goes to the cat lady. Because that makes sense. There's background. There's a freaking cat lady in the mansion. There's a cat. There's a reason you're going to bring this cat to that person you've already met. Right?
Armored Scooter mentions Fallout 76. Gotten into it. Fallout 76, when it first launched, was not what it is now.
No,
actually, I've been playing a lot.
I actually own it, and I still need to go back and try it since they.
Yeah, I own it too. I never loaded it up, but because that's me.
I played the Battle Royale part a couple of times.
But I'm sort of the same way. Like, if a game doesn't have a good story, like it needs a good story. So like
Terra was crap. Just
what was
crap? Terra was crap.
Yeah, Terra, and I was playing Terra too. I played it for. I don't know how many levels, certainly not the end, but I certainly remember like one of the first times I played it, I was in some main city, and like these little tiny, like one of their mounts was like a little tiny car, and it like all these little cars kept driving past me, and I was like, what is this? What is this nonsense?
See, I'm okay. Look, I'm used, again, Secret World, you want to ride by in a unicorn and a mankini, I don't care. Right?
It could get a little silly, yeah.
But okay, it's modern times. You can go to Florida and see that right now. It's not even the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's just a normal day on the street in like Venice Beach or like places like you can go see that. It's not.
It's facts.
I always hate when people say that actually about Secret World, like, oh, like it's breaking your immersion. I'm like, the people are like that now. It's not the apocalypse. Apocalypse, all rules are off. If they want to wear.
And it sort of gets to the point where, you get into Tokyo here and you have, demons in bathrobes and you have,
who are you to question my fashion choices?
Bunny heads. You've got the guy wearing the bunny costume.
It's also odd that we don't have that as an outfit.
It's true. But you have like the squirrel costume. You've got there's a, so many of
that has significant lore behind it as well.
It does. But there's so many more costume things because there's so many different characters that have, that have their distinct looks to them. And so so it kind of entices you to be like, no, have a distinct look yourself. This is a weird world. And how many NPCs sometimes like look at your character and go, okay. before going into their monologue, they're like, sure, okay, yeah, let's do this.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like So like I'm not like something like little cars wouldn't necessarily bother me, but just atrocious writing, like kindergarten level writing, just like I don't think I would have noticed it or been as harsh on it prior to playing Secret World. Post playing Secret World, I feel like it has definitely ruined me for other games.
Mm-hmm.
Like I look at them through a different lens.
Be like, tell me a good story. Not only have good gameplay, but tell me a good story more than anything else. I guess that's why I play Lord of the Rings online, and it's because the writers of that game. But even though sometimes you'll have a quest of like, go fetch me, blah blah blah, or go and it'll have its group of quests like that. But overall, the story ends up being very, almost true to Tolkien. And
Right.
it has like a very storied and it's good. It's writing good is what I'm trying to say. Yes.
Oh, that's sad, Scooter. I hate when you like get there's like a sequel to a game and then you're like, oh, this blows.
Yeah.
That's never fun. I found this is the one thing, like I know people like have complaints with Funcom for various reasons. I'll give them props. Anarchy Online 20-year anniversary, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which basically means that they're never really shutting off Secret World.
Yeah, they don't shut off anything ever.
they're not going to do it.
20 years of
Why
Anarchy
would they?
Online.
Yeah.
And it really does feel like I can't think of a single, like at least more, I guess, recent or Anarchy Online forward game, if not maybe some before that don't have like a certain level of like writing quality.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not like there's not as much of it like say in like Exiles, but it's there. Like when you find it, it's good. The pieces are well written. Even like Unconquered, even for like an RTS kind of game, its little bits of lore were well written. You got things like the Park and Hide and Shriek and Moons of Madness and like all the shit that any of that has writing in it. The writing in it is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Like they seem at least to have maybe their own games have spoiled it for them as well. Hello, Kalani.
And
freaking Canadians. But no, I just feel like and it could just be they've given that like they've set that bar themselves,
mm-hmm.
or their own games have sort of caused them to see that as the bar. But I just feel like if it's a Funcom game, I'm pretty sure it's going to have a decent.
It's going to have a decent writing to it.
Decent writing to it.
Right. Like what's that? What was the one that was sort of like the XCOM? My brain doesn't work right now.
Mutant Year Zero.
Yes, Mutant Year Zero. Like that's got a pretty good story to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like they helped with that game, but like they're the publisher, but it feels like they back things, and the things that they help with are things that are of a certain quality in that regard. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Still no word on Conan Chop Chop though. Dang it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, how's the story gonna be in Conan Chop Chop? That's the question. It's where it all leads to.
I think that looks amazing.
It does. It just has to. Where is it? Just give us something. Just tell us something.
That's true. It's true.
Because they're quickly approaching on the. Oh, it's going to be out in the first part of 2021.
Yeah, what does part mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Like first I don't think they said first half. I think they said first. Not quarter either. I forget their exact term. They were like the first or in the beginning of or in the. I don't know.
Oh, and yeah, obviously, Scooter, Dune. They're working on Dune, which again, Dune, very
Dune, yeah. That will most likely have a great story,
heavy.
but
yeah.
That's why that's why Tencent got involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tencent's like, give us Dune now.
I mean, they pretty much own everything, so why not?
Yes. Why not? Anyway. Since Kylani's here, I think we're good to wrap up the show.
Yeah.
That was
Thanks
perfect,
for joining.
Sir. That was perfect. When he showed up, it's time to close it down.
Sorry.
Our cue.
I didn't mean it that way, but that was
No. It
was about time. It was about time for it anyway.
I do want to just give a quick shout out. If anyone is interested or in need, I did upload all 19 unseen achievement videos.
Oh yes,
to my channel in the last week and a half. So if you are stuck on an achievement or know someone who is, and you need video assistance, see how to do it or something, they're there.
No, Kylani, I kid. It is getting late for us anyway, but yeah.
So yeah, there's literally just a glut. I feel like I spent most of the week and a half working on thumbnails.
Okay, right.
No, I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any of those. Have you seen my thumbnails?
I have, yeah. No, it's got the specialized text depending upon what the mission is. Sort of
I do a lot with fonts.
Yeah, to try to do a themed thumbnails.
Yeah, I try and find a shot from the video itself, and then I try and match a font sort of to it as best I can. But yeah, 19 thumbnails. Well, actually 23 because I made the Tokyo ones too. But yeah, I was fucking pumping out the videos for those. I was just finally glad to be done. At that point, I was just at some point I was just it's really easy to run the achievement and record it, and then it's I gotta make the thumbnail and upload it and do the description and do the keyword tags and all this other happy horse shit. That part is the part that drags. I have a queue of 6 videos just waiting for me to actually prep them for everything. It took forever. But I got a nice shout out from one of the Funcom employees on Twitter. That was pretty cool.
Okay.
Just for
making it
doing
there.
that.
Just for doing it.
Yeah, for getting that out there. That was unexpected. That was who's that? Oh yeah, it was Chris Tatum. He gave me a little shout out there, so that was pretty sweet.
But Bloodwed, thank you for joining us on the show tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, Bloodwed's new book. Go to Amazon right now. I'm going to check one more time to see if
probably still not there.
Probably still not, but you never know.
Let's see. Refresh.
No, it's still just Kindle.
Scooter, that's not an unseen achievement.
I was hoping. But go to Amazon. It will be available in paperback sometime soon when Amazon gets around to it, but it's currently available in Kindle format. A Grim, Odd, Arcane Sky, an Unofficial Legend of the Secret World, Unofficial Legends of the Secret World, Book 6 of 7.
Indeed.
Just 7 ones.
7 on its way.
On its way.
Soon.
For now.
For now.
7 due out next week.
But yes, but thank you for coming on the show. Much appreciated. Of course, you are. We love you.
Well, thank you. I always love coming and chatting with you guys because I always learn so much and have so much fun. So thanks for throwing an extra show out there so we could chat tonight.
Yes,
and Jimmy, thanks for that. Thanks for the rabbit head. I totally appreciate that.
Joining the cult of the rabbit.
But yes, with pride.
Yes, finally, the part of the Megaversary is, of course, next week. We will be having another show. What? A show 2 weeks in a row? What?
Who are these madmen?
What?
Now, what have they done with the lazy bastards that normally host the show?
Who does that? Normally, it's once every 3 weeks. I kid because it's true.
Is that kidding?
That's right.
Is that kidding? It's true.
Lies.
But yes, we'll be doing a show next week, as it will be the start of the anniversary event. So we'll be doing anniversary shenanigans, and of course the Megaversary is starting. So come join us. We'll have giveaways, and we'll be our crazy, crazy selves. So agents, this has been the 0 Point Report. Strain 43-AGOAS. You can catch us recording live every other Thursday night well, I just said that, but now I'm going to read it anyway. Live every other Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, except next week. Here on the 0 Point Report Twitch channel, where you can also join us and chat with us while we do the show live, or download our show wherever podcasts are found, so you can listen to us on the go. Jimmy, where can we find you online?
You can find me at jimmytherabbit.com, twitch.tv/jimmytherabbit, youtube.com/jimmytherabbit, and at one Jimmy the Rabbit.
At one Twitter. Jimmy the Rabbit, yes.
Because fucking guy still hasn't given up that goddamn name. Son of a bitch.
Never will. Waffle, where can we find you?
Twitch. No, actually at Twitter at Two-Tone Waffle.
Okay.
I've actually moved over to Trovo, trying that out for...
Oh, you're not on Twitch at all anymore.
No.
Okay.
It's trovo.live Two-Tone Waffle.
Waffle's always been the more experimental of trying the new streaming services.
Yeah.
Bloodwed Mallory, where can we find you at?
You can find me at bloodwedmallory.com, or you can find me at Facebook / I think author.bloodwedmallory or author whatever. Just look for me at bloodwedmallory.com.
Just do a search for Bloodwed Mallory on Facebook. You'll find it.
You guys are in Eastern time. I'm like falling asleep at my desk, and it's like 11 here. Holy cow.
Yeah, we our sleep schedules. Don't ask.
I don't. What is a schedule? What is and also,
schedule?
What is sleep?
What is this thing you talk about? Schedule.
I'm rarely in bed before 3 a.m.
I gotta be up at 5:30 because my client's in the East Coast.
My kid's gonna wake me up at like 7. Be like, get the hell out of the living room. I want to play my dancing game. That's what he does now. Get out.
Get out.
He's not nice about it. I'm just saying. He's not nice about it.
He's like, I'm playing now. You suffer the consequences if you stay.
I don't know why I'm not allowed to stay, but yeah, he doesn't. He's of the opinion I need to not be in there. It's just how it is.
And I'm Ocho, and you can find me both on Twitter and here on Twitch at Big Mikey Ocho. You can get in touch with us by engaging with the show on Twitter at 0 Point Report, emailing us at the 0pointreport@gmail.com, checking out previous shows on our YouTube channel, and joining us on our Discord server, both named the 0 Point Report. From all of us here at the 0 Point Report and Bloodwood, we want to thank you for tuning in. And I am putting words in your mouth there.
No, I love those words. Please say them again.
From all of us here at the Secret World and Bloodwed, we want to thank you for tuning in and wish you all the best from the Secret World. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Hi, Zen. Bye, Zen.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.